Hey there, guys, and welcome back to a brand new Flick Pick live show with your host, this guy, this stupid face looking at you for the next few hours. And thank you for joining me. I hope you guys have your popcorn ready to go, something cold to drink, something delicious, a caffeinated beverage, preferably 3 ice cubes, no more, no less. You know how it goes. And there's a lot to talk about in this live stream. A few things I want to talk about. I want to have a conversation with you guys and discuss if movie theaters should reopen and when they should reopen, and some of the movies I want to see as soon as they do reopen. And also, a little bit later, we're going to play the new game, the new segment of the live stream called Pick the Flick, where you guys get to pick which movie back there I talk about, and we'll dive into that in just a few minutes. And also, I have a very special unboxing I want to do during this live stream, where I open up this really cool box that Universal Studios sent me with a movie, and it should be interesting. So we're going to dive into all of that during this live stream. Yeah, it's a packed show tonight. I hope you enjoy. It's the lowest form of entertainment I can possibly give you on a Tuesday night, but hey, we have nothing better to do. So thank you for joining me, guys, and we'll dive into all the questions here in just a few seconds, and a few early super chats I got before the stream even started. By the way, guys, thank you for the super chats. It does help pay the internet bill, and I do much appreciate it. So Mr. Hank Dunn, hey John, longtime fan. My top 5 favorite movies are Die Hard 3. That's a good pick. Die Hard 3 is my favorite Die Hard movie as well. You have Samuel L. Jackson. It's just glorious. Then he likes Iron Giant, School Rock. Interesting picks. Wolf of Wall Street. That's in probably like my top 25 movies. And Spider-Man 2. P.S. I love you. Well, I love you too. Thank you, man. The next one comes from Carter Lovejoy. Thoughts on The Last of Us, and are you excited for part 2? I never played The Last of Us. It looks really cool. It essentially, the movie Logan is sort of like the live action version of The Last of Us, if you sort of just interjected Wolverine in there. Very similar, right? But I've never actually played the games. I've heard great things. I know they're trying to make a movie, and that sounds cool to me. So yeah, I've never played it, but I've heard great things. The next one comes from Tyler Van. Who are some of your favorite modern music artists? It just really depends. I sort of just go through my Spotify playlist or listen to what's recommended to me, but Falling in Reverse is like a new band I discovered like a few years ago. I sort of like their style. It's like metal, like, then it has like a little bit of rap and like this electronic vibe to it. I like a mix of everything. If it has like an uplifting score or like a climax, like, as long as it gets me fucking pumped in the gym, I'm going to listen to it. A few other ones I like. I like a lot of metal music. Like Killswitch Engage is one of my favorite metal bands since high school. David Dillon, love you, John. Thoughts on Despicable Me? A lot of love tonight, and I thank you guys for that. Was never a fan of the Despicable Me movies. Never was. I watched the first one. I barely got through it. The Minions are cool. Do I wish I had some Minions? Yes, I do. But do I want to watch a movie about them? No, I do not. But thanks, David. Chris Wilson, have you seen the new images from the upcoming Dune film? If so, what are your thoughts? Yeah, it looks cool. Denis Villeneuve, I call him Denis Villeneuve. That's how I say it. I know it's probably inaccurate. Yeah, that guy can almost do no wrong when it comes to films. I never really enjoyed the original Dune from '84, I believe. But this new one, at first it had my curiosity, and now it has my attention. It looks awesome. I don't think the images show much. It kind of gives you, it looks like I expected it to look from an aesthetic standpoint, but I'm excited. I'm pumped for it. And now it's coming out, is it coming out in 2021 now? Or is it still coming out in December of this year? I feel like they moved it to next year, didn't they? But yeah, I'm excited for it. One of the outfits actually looked like Deathstroke from the Justice League movie. It looked like the Deathstroke suit if you painted it gray. Azim, the Dream Reviews. Hey, Azim, thanks for joining me once again, man. Hey, John, I know you have a YouTube as a full-time job. I'm juggling school for my degree and something, and maybe have YouTube as a second job one day. Any advice? Yeah, just do both. There's no reason you can't. In your downtime, use YouTube as a hobby. Treat it as like a passion project. Have fun with it. And, my best advice to you is kind of implement a business plan for YouTube. Kind of plan out what you're going to do. What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What do you hope to achieve? And then go from there. But my best advice for YouTube is try to be topical. That is how you reach new people. Sometimes I'm not the best at that. Sometimes I just do the same old shit for the last 10 years. And, but it's what I like to do. So, but you have to develop a viewership and an audience. So to reach those new people, you need to be topical. But good luck, man. Mr. Hank Dunn, do you remember those retro videos my friend and I did together that I sent you a couple years ago? Mr. Hank Dunn, which retro videos? Refresh my stale brain. My brain has turned into mush. And by the way, guys, I just had a birthday Tuesday. I'm getting old as shit now, so happy birthday to me. I was actually going to do a live stream on my birthday, but then one thing led to another. But Amber bought me a drone, which I'm trying to figure out how to use. I just know I'm going to crash it to the side of a wall instantaneously. But yeah, I'm feeling old. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. The next one comes from Tyler Van. Best and worst Ron Howard movie. Dude, I love Backdraft. I thought that was probably my favorite Ron Howard movie. The Da Vinci Code movies, the first one was okay. Then the sequels kind of sucked. Also, Ron Howard did the Heart of the Sea movie, the Moby Dick movie, and that was really bad. I don't know what it is with new Ron Howard movies, but he likes to color grade his movies so they all look like they're blue and green. I hate it. But that Chris Hemsworth race car movie, what was that called? Driven or Drive or something along those lines? Hey guys, let me try to fix my audio, and I will be right back in 1 second. Let's see if I can fix the audio. I hate it. Give me 1 second. Let's see what we can do. I'll take a quick break. Give me 1 second. All right. Does the audio sound better? Does the audio sound? Let me know down below. Let me know if the audio sounds good, guys, because I don't know. I'm waiting to hear from you guys. Oh, it doesn't sound better. Okay, guys, give me 1 second. I hate everything about life right now. Let me try to fix this here. Does that sound better? Because I don't know if it does. If it doesn't, I will just restart this thing here, and we'll go from there. It's always something. It's always something. Why can't technology just work? No, it doesn't. Okay. I guess I'll just. I'll restart it, maybe? Let me see what happens when I do this. Hang on. Does that work? I don't know. I don't know anymore. Let's see if this works. Let's see. Okay, let's see if this works. No, it doesn't. Okay. Hey guys, No, it doesn't. All right, guys. Does this sound better? Does this sound better? I don't know if it does. we'll just go from here. I'm gonna wait around until you guys tell me if it sounds better. Oh, YouTube, why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me? Yeah, so I restarted my software. Hopefully this is working now, and then we will just pretend like none of this ever happened, and we'll start fresh. But thank you guys for sticking around. Yeah, so I restarted. Oh, it does sound better. Hey! Hey there, guys. Welcome back to a brand new Flick Pick live show. Hope you grab your popcorn and something delicious to drink and your Sour Patch Kids. And thank you for sticking around and being patient with me as my shitty software finally decides to work. I don't sound like a fish underwater any longer. So how are you guys doing? Let me know down below. We have a lot to cover in this live stream, such as talking about if movie theaters should reopen and when they should reopen, and which movies do you want to watch. I'm also going to do a brand new unboxing, and that should be fun. And also I'm going to dive into some of these super chats here. So yeah, is the audio sounding good, guys? Let me know. I'm scared right now. Somebody said the audio has the Kung Flu virus. Yes, it does. Gosh, is it good? Are we good? Okay, good. All right. I'm sorry to mutilate your eardrums like that. My sincerest apologies. All right, guys. Oh, man. I was on a roll, and it was completely interrupted. Thanks, YouTube. I blame everything on YouTube. Audio sounds great now. My name is Morgan Freeman. Okay. All right. Let's dive into some of these super chats real quick. Random Commando, fix audio sounds choppy. I did. I hope it's good now. Your audio is messed up from Stuart Fulbrook. Oh, it's all fixed now. Thank you, guys. Jimmy Lawson, fix your audio, and Venom 2 teaser is great. I didn't even know I knew they came out with a title for Venom 2. I didn't watch the teaser trailer. Is it just a graphic title? I saw the title. It's called like Venom Here Comes the Carnage, which makes sense. Carnage is a cool villain. I'm hoping Woody Harrelson does a good job, which is an odd decision, right? But I'm looking forward to it, man. I wasn't a big fan of the first Venom movie. I tried to like it, but then I was just like, hey, Mrs. Chin, what is this, a virus or something?
Eddie, you must rip his arms off and make him a turd in the wind.
Rich the Savior, thanks for the Streamlabs donation. Thank you so much for that. YouTube keeps recommending me your videos from 7 years ago when I first found your channel. My favorite is a flick trip to get frozen pizza. Never grab the one in the front, John. Well, thank you for that, man. Yeah, sometimes YouTube recommends me old weird videos that I've done too, and I'm like, thanks, YouTube. Finally, you're bringing these videos back out into the public again. They need to understand the darkness, which is those old videos. And I've been saying it for years, guys. You never grab the item in the front at any store you go, and that is the best advice I can give you in these dark days. Because whatever is in the front, people have touched. I feel like the item or the grocery item that you purchase in the front of the shelf, somebody already touched that. Someone took that, put it down in the toy section for 3 days. A Walmart employee found it and then returned it. And always grab the one in the back. I feel like that's the safest bet. And those whatever items usually in the back has like the best expiration date on it. So I've been saying it for years. We talked about the best and worst Ron Howard movies, but my audio was cutting out and sounded like garbage. So I would say my least favorite is probably Heart of the Sea, that really shitty Moby Dick movie that he came out with a few years ago. My favorite is Backdraft by far. I love that. That movie almost made me want to become a firefighter. And then hopefully my nickname would have been Axe if I was a firefighter. Ethan Holgate, favorite Wes Anderson movie and Tim Burton movie. Probably Wes Anderson movie. I don't know. Maybe Boogie Nights. And Tim Burton movie. Probably, honestly, I know it sounds weird to say, but like Batman Returns might be my favorite Tim Burton movie. I know people will disagree with that, but I love the penguin in that. I'll show my French flipper trick. Yeah, the innuendos. Chris Wilson. Have you seen new images from the upcoming Dune film? We talked about that a little bit ago, and I said I have. Sorry for the audio being really crappy. And I'm looking forward to Dune. The images look pretty much what I thought they would look. Very simplistic and bleak looking, but I'm excited for it. Then we had Azim the Dream Reviews with the earlier super chat where he says he's working a second job and he wants to do YouTube full time. And I said, just keep going for it and be topical. So yeah, and then we had Tyson Sherborne. Hey, John, will you see Tenet when it comes out? No, never. I will never watch it, ever. No, of course I'm going to see Tenet. And I want to talk about that movie specifically when we dive into the discussion about should movie theaters reopen and when they should reopen in just a few seconds. Guy at the movie, do you think we'll see more movies straight to VOD and streaming? I do. I'm hoping we actually get more, but it seems like a lot of the animated films, like I know Scoob is going straight to VOD, which I think is a smart choice. I think animated films or child films right now hitting VOD is a very smart thing because everyone's stuck at home and parents have these little kids running around their house screaming, and you have to ease them. You have to give them some form of entertainment. So I think right now releasing child VOD movies is the smartest decision. I mean, look at Trolls World Tour. That movie blew up on VOD, so I think that paved the way, at least for like kid movies. Patrick John, hey man, thanks for the Streamlabs donation, Patrick, and I hope you're doing well, man. My good pal Patrick from Down Under. Hey John, how are you going today? No question for me, just hope you're doing well. I am doing well, and I hope you're doing well as well, Patrick. And like I said earlier, doing okay. I just had a birthday. I'm getting old as shit. My birthday was a few days ago. And I'm still eating my Oreo cake, which is delicious. And I don't know. It feels weird to be in your early 30s. By early 30s, I'm still in my early 30s. Until you hit 35, I like to call it your early 30s. Azim the Dream Reviews, didn't you have a gaming channel? I did have a gaming channel called Flick Pick Video Games. And our Flick Video Games from like 2013. And I made like 4 videos, and I couldn't figure out how to do I couldn't figure out how to work my capture device to stream video games, which irritated me, and I just didn't have the passion to make a channel dedicated to video games. So I was like, if I'm not passionate about it, I can't do it. That's how I've always been about YouTube. I kind of just let it die into oblivion, but it still exists if you want to watch me with my shirt off, breaking an Xbox controller in my garage, dressed as Bane. Jimmy Lawson, I want theaters to open. I am sad. I am sad as well, Jimmy. And we're going to talk all about theaters reopening very shortly, as soon as I dive through some of these questions from you guys. And I have a lot to say, and I want to hear your thoughts on it as well. But yeah, it is kind of sad, right? It's just a weird time to be alive. JT the Movie Maker. Hey, John. How did you get your daily supply of Sour Patch Kids in quarantine? I'm in need. I just go to the store if I need anything. I avoid people. You go at the right time. And if you try to just avoid people, and if you walk past someone, turn your head and hold your breath. That's what I do. John O'Connor. What are your thoughts on Back to the Future? One of the most pivotal films of all time. If I want a movie that just makes me feel better about life and I get to forget and I want to transcend into my happy place, I watch Back to the Future. It never gets old. It's truly timeless. It's almost a perfect movie. I think I like Back to the Future 2 a little bit more because it's just a little more fun for me. You know, it just has a little more to offer. Like Jaws 45 with the holograph, and then you have the little micro dehydrated pizzas from Pizza Hut that you put in, and then it just blows up to the right size. I'm still waiting on those. I want those right now. But I love it. Craig Thompson. Hey John, name 5 cartoons you grew up with. Doug, the Batman animated series, the Spider-Man animated series. I watched a little Beavis and Butthead, Ren and Stimpy. Cartoons back on Nickelodeon back in the early 90s were crazy, weird. Do you guys remember Ren and Stimpy? Like, it's almost a show or a cartoon you can't watch when you're eating because it's so disgusting. Like, all the close-up shots of, like, an eyeball or, like a close-up of, like, a zit with a hair sticking out of it or something. Just the grossest shit was on Ren and Stimpy. David Dillon, when will you get married to Amber? I don't know. Eventually, one day. When the time is right. Carter Lovejoy, favorite Beatles song. I liked their album. What is it, like Yellow Submarine? I think I'm not a huge Beatles fan. I honestly, and then you had Abbey Road was another album, right? I can't specifically name one song. I just know growing up there was like we always had a few albums of the Beatles I remember like listening to. But like growing up, I was more of like a Metallica fan. So Tyler Van, big fan from Perth, Australia. I've heard you say before in a few videos that you like The Village and The Twist. I thought I was the only one. Yeah, when I watched The Village in theaters back in, what was it, 03 or 04, I liked The Twist. I was happy with The Twist because at first you think it's just monsters. Here are monsters attacking this small village, and I was like, I don't know if I can buy into this fantastical element. And then they broke it down and had an explanation of what was happening. And I thought it's sort of one of those movies like The Truman Show where you think, man, am I on a TV show? Is my neighbor recording me with their trash can? And after you watch a movie like The Village, you kind of question, like, am I sort of trapped in some kind of environment or a community where I can't get out and they're essentially lying to me the reason I can't leave? I don't know. Don't get me started on conspiracy theories. But yeah, suffice it to say, I liked The Twist in The Village. I liked it. It blew my mind. The next one comes from Brevin Thompson, Movies and Games. Hey, Brevin, thanks for joining me, man. Brevin's always here for every live stream, and he has a YouTube channel. Hope you're okay, John. I'm trying to boost things on my channel. Recently did a Blu-ray collection vid. If you can help me get support, I truly appreciate it. Also, what's your top 10 Bond movies? You want me to name 10 Bond movies in order off the top of my head? I can't do that, guys. I hate to say it. I can't do that. Yeah, guys, check out Brevin's YouTube channel, Brevin Thompson Movies and Games. And Brevin, I've told you many times, shorten your channel name. Honestly, for me, it's Casino Royale is my favorite. I'd probably say, I think I like GoldenEye more than I like any of the Sam Mendes Bond movies. A lot of people love Skyfall. I think it's overrated. I could poke holes in that movie for hours on end. If I like some elements of it. And as far as the classic ones, I think License to Kill might be one of my favorites, especially from the 80s. There's a lot of crap Bond films that they kind of just shoved out in the 80s. As far as some of the older ones, I have only seen a majority of them like one time. I know Moonraker was probably the worst Bond film of all time. There's a few other really bad ones in there, but I can't recall all of the Bond films off the top of my head. Oh, also Quantum of Solace. That's the worst Bond movie of all time. Azim the Dream Reviews. Didn't you? Oh, sorry, I already answered that. Yeah, the audio screwing up really just threw me off my game, guys. Jesse Acosta. Glad you're doing good, John. Wanted to ask, have you seen Full Metal Alchemist or Brotherhood? Have you seen? No, I have not. I haven't seen either of those. Maybe I have. My brain's not picking up on what they are right now. It sounds so familiar. Jeffrey Simpkins, if I gave you $4.99 in person, what would you buy with it? Good question. $5 in person. I don't know what I would do with it. I don't know. Maybe buy 2 energy drinks. 2 Monster Energy drinks from the gas station. Maybe that's what I would do in person. But thank you, and I will take your Streamlabs or your Super Chat here and do that eventually. And Robert Bartson just became a member, so thank you, Robert. Welcome to the Ask Anything perk membership here. So yeah, look out for some special Q&As just for you, where you can ask anything you want, Robert, and I will answer them. Man, you guys are killing it with the Super Chats and Streamlab donations. I Eventually, I will get to the main topic of this video, I promise you. But we have a lot to talk about, so it's going to be a long one, guys. So just hang tight. I hope you have your popcorn and just get ready. Lay back and listen to the soothing sounds of the Flick Pick. Brett Altop. Have you seen Little Monsters with Fred Savage? Absolutely. I love Little Monsters. I always wanted a monster to pop out of my bed and take me away to a magical monster land down below where you could never grow up. Yeah, I love that film. With Howie Mandel and Fred Savage, and also Fred Savage's brother, Ben Savage, from Boy Meets World. Who pissed in my apple juice? I love that movie. And I love the scene where he tries to trap the monster, where he cuts off the legs of his bed and he has like a string attached to it and he puts like Frito chips. It's so great. It's such an underrated movie too. I think everyone should watch Little Monsters. ASDFGH123. Okay. Watch Death Note again. It will blow your mind. Maybe, possibly. I haven't seen Death Note in a long time. Are you talking about Death Note from the 80s? Or are you talking about the new Death Note? David Dillon, thoughts on Casino? I love Casino. Probably one of my favorite Scorsese movies. I prefer it over Goodfellas. And Sharon Stone's in the movie. What's not to like? And Joe Pesci just loses his shit the entire movie. Mick CV. What will you do when Trump opens the country's next month? We'll talk more about that. But essentially, things are supposed to open in May, and I think that's way too soon. And essentially, what we're doing is we're not opening things in regard to your health. We're opening it for the economy, because people are afraid if people get too desperate and the country turns into another Great Depression, things get even worse because desperate people will do desperate things. And we're essentially opening it up so the economy boosts back up. But as far as health concerns go, that doesn't fix anything. Just because you open the country back up doesn't mean the reason we shut it down, it didn't get any better. And I'm trying to avoid the term so my video stays monetized on YouTube. Yeah, it's too soon in my opinion, and I understand people are losing their jobs and all of those other things, and that sucks. That's really bad, but I think if you open it back up, you're going to have a huge second wave of people getting sick. It'll get worse than it's been, and it makes no logical sense that when you have less cases, you shut everything down, but now that we're at an all-time high, where it's almost like 800,000 confirmed cases, you open it all back up. So if it's worse now, then when we shut it down, why are we opening it back up? It makes no sense. And most health officials say we shouldn't do it. But from an economy standpoint, I think the government doesn't want to give us any more money, so we're going to open it back up. So, once again, that ties right into the movie theater situation. But yeah, Jacob Hubbard. Hey, Jacob, how's it going down there in Simpsonville, South Carolina, man? I miss my job, which was at the movie theater. Also, just watched Memento for the first time and did a review. Yeah, I think Jacob actually works at the movie theater I used to go to in South Carolina when I lived there. And I also worked at a movie theater for like 2 years back in 2009. So yeah, it was a good time. I was an usher at a movie theater. I did a really shitty job of cleaning the theater, so you probably wouldn't want to hire me to work at a movie theater nowadays because everyone would just get sick and die. But yeah, I worked as an usher at the movie theater, and I can tell you what I was told to do when you don't have enough time to clean a theater. What you do is everything on the seats, you just sweep under the seats, you shove it down into the back, and then later that night they actually have cleaning crews come in and they blow it all out from under the seats. So you don't actually really clean much in a theater. You just shove it all under the seats and you can't see it. They're designed to do that, which is just. And if you've ever seen a movie theater with the lights turned on, trust me, you wouldn't want to sit down in those seats. It's utterly disgusting. And also, I just watched Memento for the first time and did a review. Well, I hope you enjoyed Memento, man. Now do one for the Prestige. Tyler Van. I meant the animated show Death Note from 2007. Oh, I've never seen the animated show Death Note. Ethan Holgate, would Amber do one of these live streams with you? Maybe, possibly. I don't know. Maybe. Lucas Birkenowitz 66. You guys know I can't read. Hey, John. Can I get a Buffalo Bill impression? You can. And here it goes. It puts the lotion in the basket. It puts the lotion in the basket. It puts the fucking lotion in the basket! Ooh! Okay, there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. Alejandro, or I always mispronounce your name. Alejandro? Ortiz? I've been watching you since 7th grade. I'm now a freshman in college. How does that make you feel, John? I feel like you ask me that question every time just to make me feel old. And, yeah, it makes me feel old. I felt really old on my birthday 2 days ago. And I feel like right now my midlife crisis is about to kick in. And I've said it, I've been saying this for years, and I'll continue to say it. One day when that happens, the reason I bought all these Disney movies are to essentially take me to my happy place where I'll lock myself in a room and watch each one of them. But now since I have Disney Plus, I guess I could just stream all of the movies, and it's way more convenient than physically putting in the disc, which nowadays is such a commitment, isn't it? But I like having them because they make me feel better about who I am and what I'm doing in life. But yeah, I hope college is going well for you, man. Robert Bartston, first ever super chat. Your day in the life vid where you reviewed the BPI products back in the day was hilarious. I've quoted parts of it when I was in sales. No questions, just a comment. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I do remember that video. Thank you. That was a random video, wasn't it? But thank you for watching that. Thank you for that. Yeah, that was some good stuff. Thank you. I don't remember everything I specifically said in the video, but I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. That was from like 2015, I think. Rando Commando 41. Gotta leave early. We'll watch this tomorrow morning. Happy late birthday. Row 5, third from the left. Rando Commando. I will do that later, so look forward to that a little bit later when I actually do the segment. And by the way, guys, if you didn't already know, I introduced a new segment on the last live stream. It's called Pick the Flick. It's where you guys get to pick which movie I talk about back there, but in a weird way where it's sort of random. And I like doing it. So yeah, have a good night, Rando Commando, and thanks for joining me, man. Russ Rogers, all praise the chicken sandwich. Well, thank you, Russ. People are stuck in that Night of the Chicken Sandwich vlog I made like 10 years ago, and I appreciate that. It's the little things that count. All right, guys. So let's dive into the main topic of this video. And right now, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of controversy surrounding movie theaters opening back up. And according to most states, come May 1st, everything is allowed to open back up with some restrictions applying. For example, here where I live in Alabama, gyms are opening back up, restaurants are opening back up, everything's opening back up, and movie theaters are technically allowed to open back up, even though there's no new movies to watch in movie theaters, which I think they're going to bring back classic films to sort of ease people back into the theater experience. But here are my thoughts on this. As a guy who loves going to the gym, as a guy who loves going to the movie theater, I would love to go back to these things, and I would like to do it safely. And right now, with everything going on, I'm paranoid to go to Walmart and touch a shopping cart to go grocery shopping. So, let alone go to a movie theater, sit down in a public seat. It's a public recliner, if you really think about it, that someone could have just sat in right before I walked in and sneezed all over it, or done other things with bodily fluids dripping out of them all over that seat, and then I sit in it for 2 hours watching a movie. And right now, I don't know if I can do that with peace of mind. It doesn't sound fun. It doesn't sound like an immersive experience where I can just enjoy the movie. Especially going to the gym, where it's just everything's covered in sweat and bacteria. Going to the gym previously was already sort of a scary thing, right? Because everything's just covered in everyone else's goo. And To be honest with you, when I was going to the gym almost every day of my life back in like 2015, 16, and 17, and 18, that was a time period where I got more flus, more colds than ever before. And I know I got the majority of those from going to the gym every day and just like torturing my immune system by being around all these germs. So right now, the fact that gyms are opening and movie theaters are opening back up, I personally think it's way too soon, and I think we should wait, and those aren't essential places. And keep in mind, once again, these are places I love to go. This is like, those are my two favorite things, right beside Walmart. Going to Walmart for some odd reason is just so relaxing to me and therapeutic and sort of a weird adventure every time. But yeah, as far as movie theaters go, imagine this, all right? Let's say movie theaters open back up in May, June, or July. The same issues we have right now with people getting sick are still going to exist. Maybe they'll get better, but we're still going to have hundreds of thousands of cases, and it's going to continue to spread. Now, does that mean it's going to be detrimental to you? Does that mean you're going to have extreme symptoms? Maybe, maybe not. And maybe you'll just have a slight cold, worst case scenario, right? But hear me out just for 1 second. Let's say in July, movie theaters open back up, cases have lowered, things are getting better, but they're not perfect yet. You're in the theater, and you hear someone sneeze, and you can see that moist mist spray out across the theater, and you're watching Tenet in the movie theater. Are you going to sit there and enjoy the rest of the movie? Or are you going to constantly be thinking about, oh shit, I just inhaled that, I'm going to die tomorrow? I don't know. I will tell you this. If theaters do open back up in the next few months, I don't think I'm rushing out to the movie theater. I will give it a few weeks, maybe a month, and I'll see how it goes. Because I don't trust the unwashed masses just yet. Unless movie theaters are handing out hazmat suits with the popcorn and candy combos, I'm not running back to the theater anytime soon. And I think it's way too soon. That's just my personal opinion, and I want to know what you guys think about that. Chime in. Let me know how you feel about it. I would love to go see new movies at the theater, but if you have the ability to release some movies on VOD in the comfort and safety and the sanctity of your own home to watch them safely right now, why not do that? That seems like the more responsible approach. I mean, even if there's a 5% chance of going to the theater and getting something, why risk that 5% chance for some mediocre bullshit movie like, I don't know, Trolls World Tour, for example? Now, would I probably risk that for the Batman movie? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. But other than that, I can't think of a lot of other things. I mean, if I was wearing like goggles and a respirator mask, would I probably go to the theater? Maybe. The other thing I think theaters should do, and I doubt they will, is have like disposable cloth seat covers that you can put on each chair. So with each movie ticket, they give you like this really cheap cloth material, almost like the same thing like like when you go to a medical facility or whatever, and they have like a paper covering in front of them. Maybe hand those out as seat covers to put over your seat when you're watching the movie, so you don't really touch anything. But like I said, once again, this is airborne. So if someone sneezes in a theater, in the vicinity of that theater, everyone in that room is exposed to what just happened. So I don't know. I love movies, but I don't love movies that much. So I think I will wait. But yeah, there's a lot of talk going around that most theaters, especially AMC, have hinted at opening in July. Things might be better by then, but I don't think they'll be that much better. And also, Tenet still has its original release date in July. And that could be the first big movie to open back up, which would probably entice a lot of people to go to the theater. And I would love to see Tenet. It's almost one of those things where I wish I was a mega rich millionaire so I could buy out every seat in the entire theater so it was just me in there by my lonesome. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is a good time for a resurgence of the drive-in movie theater experience, because that is the safest way to publicly watch a new movie, right? You're in the comfort of your car. No one can get to you. You leave your windows rolled up and you can watch the movie on a big screen. You can bring your own snacks, sneak it in, whatever you want to do. I would like to see movie theaters come back. That's what I would like to see. But yeah, feel free to chime in, guys. And thank you for the happy birthday wishes, Joshua Garrison. And Robert Bartson, the virus requires correction, then we may once again enjoy the movie theater. I agree. Yeah, it's still getting worse every day. Let's let it go on a downslope, and then we'll talk about reopening movie theaters. Yeah, but feel free to chime in, guys. I love to know your thoughts, and I will get to all the questions and super chats in just 1 second. Mike W., thanks for the super chat. Hey, dude, thanks for the entertaining videos. Wondering what are some of your favorite horror movies? I'm kind of a horror movie fanatic. Awesome, man. Yeah, I love a good scary movie that just makes you feel terrified to go to bed at night and you want to hug a stuffed animal and cry yourself to sleep in the fetal position. Absolutely. I've said this, the most terrifying experience I ever had with a horror film was watching Nightmare on Elm Street in my grandparents' basement as a kid on VHS. Still terrifies me. It just, like, every noise I heard in the distance, I thought I was going to die, but I couldn't stop watching the movie. And yeah, that memory's like burned into my brain. Rob K, I'll wait a couple of months before going back to the theaters. Absolutely, yeah. I won't be a test guinea pig for this. I'm gonna wait a little bit too. It's too scary, man. I just can't do it. Kevin Hernandez, sup, John? How you doing? Well, Kevin, I'm doing pretty good. What's up with you, man? Just here doing a live stream on Tuesday night with all of you awesome people. And once again, thank you guys for joining me. Things are going well. And hopefully I can put out a new vlog video tomorrow. It's not really a vlog. It's like a gym tour video I've been meaning to put out. But I put up a brand new Flick Trip video called, what did I even call it? I called it Inside the Walmart Movie Wasteland. That's what it's called. And I bought this in the previous Flick Trip video here on this channel. So if you haven't watched that, go watch the newest Flick Trip video. Grim Silo, have you ever seen Meteor Man? Underrated 90s superhero movie. If not, you got to check it out. It's both ridiculous and awesome. Yeah, it stars one of the Wayne's brothers or cousins. Yeah, I do remember Meteor Man. It was always on HBO. You had the one gang of like little kids that had like bleach blonde hair, and it's such a 90s movie. Yeah, I always enjoyed that. I have not seen that movie in probably 20 plus years, but I always remember it. I always remember that and the shitty Double Dragon video game movie, which was just terrible. But I always remember Bobo, the guy who did too many like juiced up like steroids and human growth hormone. And he's like driving a truck like this and he has no neck. Fondest memories of being a kid. Brevin Thompson, movies and games. You suggested movies and games, so what I added to my name, I thought that would work. I'm trying to understand how to be better. Also, I have autism. Oh, okay. Well, Brevin, thanks for sharing that, man. And yeah, I would just shorten the name. Whenever you have a YouTube name, it's better to be memorable, quick, and catchy. So, Brevin Thompson, movies and games. I would just call it. Gosh, movies and games. I don't know. If you want to leave Brevin in there, I would go with that. But just call it Brevin. Call it Brevin Movies and More. I don't know. It's whatever you're more passionate about. If you're doing games, I don't know. I would really think about it. I just called mine the Flick Pick. I don't know. You don't have to be so literal with it, though. All right, the next one comes from... let me catch up here, guys. Kevin Hernandez. What is the worst Bond movies? We actually talked about that just a few minutes ago, and I said Quantum of Solace is by far the worst Bond movie. I remember watching that movie and thinking, nah, this is a real James Bond movie? Like, they made this? Like, how do you go from Casino Royale to that? Like, how do you dive that deep into garbage? It felt like a made-for-TV Bond movie or something, and that was during the writer's strike. They were filming that movie, and that's why it's so atrociously bad, because they were making it up as they went. All right, the next one comes from Tyson Sherburne. if I send you a short feature, would you watch it? If it's your short film, yeah, I can give it a watch. I would recommend maybe tweeting me it on Twitter. Or send me a DM. Mike W. Would you like to hear the specials? Not if you want to keep your spleen. Oh, yes. Great line from American Psycho. Love it. Why don't you try getting a reservation at Dorsey now? Terrence Hanna. Best to least best. Dark Knight. Batman Begins. The Dark Knight Rises. In order. I dare you to disagree. I would say The Dark Knight's the best. Batman Begins is probably second. Dark Knight Rises is probably third best. Over the years, I've mixed and mashed every single one of them, but I think overall The Dark Knight is the superior film out of all of the movies. The one that has the most issues is easily The Dark Knight Rises. Let's be honest here. It has the most glaring story issues. But there's so many great scenes that tie it together for me. I still love it, but The Dark Knight is nearly flawless in so many places for me. Azim the Dream Reviews. Happy late birthday, John. First saw you in Bat and Rob review. First saw you in Batman. Oh, the Batman and Robin review. Yes. You scared the hell out of me. You were bigger than Bane. Also, soon as this is over, I'm taking you and Amber to Dorsia. Don't get scared now. You won't get a reservation at Dorsia, I assure you. But thank you, man. And I do remember that Batman and Robin review for many, many years ago. A lot of people tell me that's their first experience with me, and I just want to say I'm sorry for that. All right, let's dive into some other questions here. I have not been checking the Streamlabs chats here. And by the way, guys, if you guys, instead of doing a super chat, I recommend using Streamlabs. The link is right below the video. It's just better because YouTube doesn't steal half of it. It's like, hey, Google, you have billions of dollars. I'm poor. Help me. All right, but either way, guys, thank you. Tyson Sherborne. Oh, sorry, I just answered that. I can't read. Okay, Norwegian Collector. Happy belated birthday, John. You've been part of my life for the past 7 or 8 years now. Crazy, huh? Can I have a choice? Can I have a choice for this segment? In the case, middle row, 4 numbers. Oh gosh, okay, so many coordinates here. Middle row, 4 and number 6 to the right. I will do that as soon as I start the segment. But I think I wrote it down correctly here. Ricardo Franco. And by the way, thanks for sticking around for the last 6 or 7 years. Much appreciated. It always means a lot when you guys tell me how long you've been watching and when you first started watching. It's baffling. It's just like, it's a crazy thing. It's a beautiful thing. Ricardo Franco. Well, thank you for the Streamlabs donation, Ricardo. Much appreciated, buddy. And Ricardo is my good pal who also joins me on Patreon. I spent more time at the movies than most, and I won't go back until there's a vaccine or treatment. Only way to be safe. I agree. I don't want to rush back in, and I hope you guys don't either. Just stay safe, guys. It's really not worth going back right away. And especially going to the gym. It blows my mind. One of the things that they're allowed to open are the gym. It's like, are you asking to die? like I can understand opening some restaurants. I can understand opening some public places. I can understand like opening a golf course, for example, or opening the beach, right? But opening a gym, like when I go to the gym now, sometimes I walk in the sauna and there's like an old guy in there with his balls hanging out, like coughing all over the place. And I'm just like, let alone right now go into that situation. I just don't know if I can do it, which is why I built a mini home gym. Because if I don't work out, I start shrinking up into alien version of John from 2010. And you guys don't want to see that, or maybe you do. All right, the next one comes from Rich the Savior. John, agree with you about not opening theaters. However, studios can't release everything to VOD because they make a fraction of the money on it. Personally, there's no way I'm spending $20+ on a movie I'm unsure about. Well, let's talk about that concept for 1 second. And will theaters make less money on VOD movies? Maybe. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll make more. Let's really think about that. The biggest downfall of releasing a film on VOD is people can pirate the movie and illegally watch it. But at the same time, the same people who typically pirate movies aren't going to the movie theater either way. And I know how to pirate a movie. I know how to do it. But do I do it for a movie I actually want to see? No, I don't. And I feel like that's how most theater go, especially people like you or I. We want that theater experience, or we want the best version of that movie we can get. So spending $20+ on a movie, what's the difference between spending $20 on a movie at home or going to the theater to spend $20? Think about going to the theater. You have to pay $10 at least to see a movie. You got to drive to the theater. You have to park. You have to go in. If you want snacks, you're going to spend $87 on a small drink and a bag of stale popcorn. And then you're sitting in the theater and you're assuming that the risk of someone coming in that aren't annoying as shit, texting on their phone, talking, possibly nowadays sneezing all over the place, thus killing you eventually. That's an extreme. But yeah, something about watching a movie in the comfort of my home where I can control the situation. I don't know. Right now, that sounds nice. So the argument that they can't release everything on VOD, I feel like maybe they can. And the other thing about when studios release movies to theaters, it actually is a very expensive thing to do. They have to send out hard drives with the films on it. They have to share a cut of the profits with the theaters. Right now, if they release them to VOD, and especially if some studios own their VOD platform, like for example, HBO Max, which is coming out next month from Warner Brothers, if they own that streaming service, they own it. They can release whatever they want on there, and they can have an upgrade version. So if you're paying the monthly subscription of $10 or whatever it is a month, and maybe if you want to watch the newest film Tenet on VOD, which Chris Nolan will probably never allow that to happen, that's definitely a theater experience. But just for the example, what I'm talking about now, maybe they can have theaters, or maybe the VOD service can have an upgraded fee. If you already have the subscription to HBO Max, maybe for an extra $5, you can watch the newest movie on that subscription service or streaming service. So I don't know. I feel like that's direct to the consumer. They make more without spending a lot of money to release it into a theater. I don't know. I think I don't know. I think studios can make a lot of money. If here's what they should do. Let's agree to disagree. I think studios should release middle tier, smaller budget films on VOD. Save movies like Batman, Black Widow, Tenet. You can put those in theaters, right? Put those in theaters. Wait, but like films like New Mutants, just release that shit on VOD. All right, let's go to the next one here. Dan Peters, can you name a movie that changed your viewpoint on something, or a movie that inspired you to live your life a little bit differently? There have been movies like that, and I wish I could recall one off the very top of my head. But there's a lot of movies where it sort of inspires you just to like get out of your comfort zone and go out there and do it and don't be afraid. And this sounds a little bit cliche and hokey, and I guess you guys could probably guess this answer for me. But like the movie Batman Begins, I liked that. I like the concept of becoming more than a man, becoming a symbol, and you can't break a symbol. It's indestructible. It's incorruptible. And that's why I'm the Flick Pick. I am a symbol. not of injustice, but of, well, I don't know. But yeah, I honestly, Batman Begins sort of inspired me to do a little bit more. I'm sure there's a few other movies, but I'm digging my brain right now off the top of my head. I can't think of what they are, but I have had that same experience with certain movies. Also, Dylan Peter, hey John, have you ever seen Donnie? Oh, this is a different. We have Dylan Peters and then we have Dylan Peter. Is that this? That's got to be the same guy, right? All right, hey John, have you ever seen Donnie Darko with Jake Gyllenhaal? One of the more underrated movies in my opinion. Donnie Darko, I don't think is really underrated. I think most people love that film. It's definitely like a cult classic. But yeah, it's never been one of my favorite movies. And you want to talk about a movie that gave me a different viewpoint? Patrick Swayze for many years was like this great likable actor. Then you see him in Donnie Darko and you're like, eee, that's kind of nasty. But yeah. Patrick, what are some stereotypes you have about Australia? I'll tell you if they are true. Crikey's down under. I'm going to go get I don't know, a crocodile. I don't know. I just assume everyone in Australia travels by kangaroo. Is that right? And if you don't travel by kangaroo, I just assume everything looks like it's in Mad Max. Like, it's just a desolate wasteland where you guys are trying to get gasoline. I call it gasoline. That's just that, and I assume Lord Humongous is the ruler, right? Isn't that how things go? I'm pretty sure it's pretty similar to here. Let's go to the next one here. Making sure I didn't miss anything here, guys. Patrick John also. Thanks, Patrick, once again for the Streamlabs donations, man. I'm enjoying some Junior Mints I've had in the freezer. I can only eat one or two of these. They are so strong. Yeah, Junior Mints are one of those things I find utterly disgusting. It's just like, you don't put mint inside of chocolate. And if you do, it should only be, you can only eat one of them, right? I think Junior Mints only, like mint inside of chocolate only belongs in like a senior citizen's home in a little candy bowl that you, like when you go to your grandparents' house, they always had like black licorice and like Junior Mints. Both were utterly disgusting, and neither were edible. So I haven't eaten a Junior Mint in 3 decades, and I'm happy with that. All right. Dylan Peter, have you seen The Master with Joaquin Phoenix? Yes, I have. For pretty interesting take on Scientology. Well, pretty much the creation of Scientology. By the way, Tom Cruise. Yeah, I have seen it. I don't recall a lot about it. I don't recall a lot about it, honestly. But I did enjoy it. And Joaquin Phoenix was great in it. And Philip Seymour Hoffman was also great in it. And now cue my Philip Seymour Hoffman impression. I'm gonna hurt her. I'm gonna hurt her bad. That's all I got. And earlier, Patrick John, about an hour ago, asked this question. Hey, John, how are you going today? No question for me. Just hope you're doing well. I think I answered that earlier. But yeah, thank you, Patrick. And I hope you're doing well down under there in Australia as well. All right. Let's keep going here, guys. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to dive into the Pick the Flick segment, where you guys can pick any movie behind my stupid head, and we'll talk about it randomly. But just 1 second. And in a few minutes, I'm going to unbox this right here. Look at this. The Gentleman. Look at this cool special unboxing. So that'll be a good time. And there's something in that box that I'm really, really looking forward to. Also, Patrick, man, you are killing it with the super chats, man. A lot of cry faces. No, I've never even been to the Outback. Most of Australia is green. Yeah, it's very similar to America. I assumed. But don't you just want to ride a kangaroo? Or at least I do. Matt Logan. This is my second damn super chat. You must now watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Your fans will agree in the comments. I've heard great things. I've heard it's hilarious. Charlie Day, yeah, I think he's funny sometimes. I actually hate his character in Pacific Rim. Hard to watch. But yeah, I've heard it's great. And it has Danny DeVito, man. So what's not to love? David Dillon, Tom Holland versus Toby, which one? Be honest. Oh, Tom Holland all day long. Tom Holland to me was like the perfect casting choice as Spider-Man because he doesn't look like a 35-year-old actor attempting to be a teenager, which is always great. And he has this likability. He sounds perfect for the role. Tom Holland, yeah, by far. I was never a big fan of Toby. Never have been. Azim the Dream Reviews. Happy late birthday, John. First saw you in... Oh, we answered that already. Ooh, how did I scroll so far back on there? Okay. Well, that's good. I answered all the questions. It's always a good thing. Last line. Watch you since 2016. You and a few others inspired me to start my channel. Thank you for that. Going to use this shutdown to get back into posting again. Well, good for you, man. And I think everyone should use a shutdown to sort of work on something, find a new hobby, learn something, focus on something a little bit more. And I sort of, in a weird way, I sort of enjoyed the lockdown, the shutdown. I liked having my options a bit limited. I'm one of those people that I get easily overwhelmed because maybe I overthink everything. But sometimes having less is more, and you get to enjoy the small things in life. And the small things are what I've always really enjoyed, That's why I've made vlog videos about going to Walmart and showing frozen pizzas for the last 10 years. It's small things in life that make you happy. Brevin Thompson's awesomeness. Here's one, Brevin. Call it Brevin. Just call it Brevin Awesomeness. No, that's a long title. Brevin Thompson's awesomeness. That's better. A little bit long, though. Awesomeness is like awesomeness. Just call it Brevin Awesome. I can remember. See, that's a title I can remember. Brevin Awesome. Maybe go with that. But happy belated birthday, John. I hope the new name will stick. Don't apologize for bat nipples. You were hilarious. You're a YouTube legend, brother. Well, thank you for that. I think the status of legend is a little bit high, but I will take it. Thank you. Jimmy Lawson. What are your thoughts on Edge of Tomorrow? Jimmy, that is a great question. That is a great movie. One of the best sci-fi films of the last 10 years. One of my favorite Tom Cruise movies. Just like it's like Groundhog Day meets a sci-fi flick. And that's a perfect mix. And they've been trying to make another Edge of Tomorrow forever. And I think it's in pre-production right now by Doug Liman. And I loved the movie. Bill Paxton in the movie is great. Emily Blunt also pretty awesome, and loved it. And I just wish we would get a sequel. Truly underrated movie. Did not do well at the box office. Jacob Hubbard, question: where do you get trailer footage you use in your videos? I would like to use some in my reviews. That's a question I get a lot on YouTube from people who do reviews. As far as trailer footage goes, it's so easy. Okay, here's what you do, guys. You find the trailer on YouTube, you copy and paste the link. Then you Google YouTube to MP4. You find a site that can rip the footage from YouTube and save it as an MP4 file to your computer. So all you do is copy and paste the link of the YouTube video with the trailer. You copy and paste it into whatever site you find that can do that. You push convert to MP4 and it downloads it to your computer. So just Google YouTube to MP4. You'll find 20 different thousand sites that do it. Some of them are shitty. Some of them are have a whole bunch of pop-up ads, but you'll find a good one. Patrick. I put a lot of emphasis on your name right there. DVD shelf. Most far right shelf 8 from the left. Right. You guys got to wait till the segment to ask these questions. Right, far left. I wrote it down, though. I will get to it during the segment. Hi, I am We Did Todd. Or your name always makes me read things backwards. Hi, I am We Todd Did. Ugh. John, do you get exhausted at the gym sometimes, like having bad days where you can't seem to lift heavy? Yeah, there's a lot of days. For me to have a good workout, it has to be the perfect storm of everything, right? I got to be enthusiastic. I got to be pumped up. I got to be energetic. I have to buy pre-workout. I have to have enough to eat that day. I have to get there early enough. If I get to the gym when it's dark out, it ruins everything. If I get there around 5 or 6 o'clock when the sun's just setting or still up in the sky, I'm going to have a good workout that day. It just really depends. I'm so fickle when it comes to my workouts. But yeah, I do know what you mean. There's just some days you can't get a pump. The next one comes from Connor Johnson. By the way, Rob K says, call it Brevin's Badass Corner. There you go. There's a name for you, Brevin. Connor says, which do you think is better? Is the better Beatles song? While My Guitar Gently Weeps or Happiness is a Warm Gun. I couldn't differentiate. I don't know either any of those songs unless I heard it. I wouldn't know what the song is based on the title. Like I said earlier, not the biggest Beatles fan. I like their music. I've never really just went out of my way to listen to it. Euro Nation, do you think they should remake The Mask 1994? No, I do not. We don't need it. If you want it, just go watch the original, because I don't think it's going to get better than that. And you have Cameron Diaz's first on-screen performance. Just a fun, magical time. The thing me and my friends for many years, we always take a line from the movie The Mask. It's the villain of the movie Dorian, where he goes, "There's always time for one last kiss." What a great line. Joseph Jackson, hey John, happy birthday. Do you think Mac Ready or Childs was the thing at the end of John Carpenter's The Thing? Do you think Mac Ready or Childs was the thing? Maybe, possibly. I don't know. Can I be honest with you guys? People love the movie The Thing, and I've watched it a few times. It's just never been one of those movies that I fell in love with. And I know that's such an unpopular opinion, but for me, when it came to John Carpenter movies, I was always like into Escape from New York or Halloween. Those were like the quintessential John Carpenter movies. For me, The Thing, like, I enjoyed it. I loved Kurt Russell in it. But I never fell in love with the movie. Am I the only one? Am I all alone with that sentiment? I don't know. John Gomez, what's your most goosebumps raising scene in a movie? For me, it's when the hallway scene in Inception. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, good scene. Dude, there's been so many like action sequences where it's just like, ooh, that got my bat nips hard and ready to go. I remember when me and Stuckman were watching The Dark Knight Rises together at a press screening, and I remember when it was the Bane Batman scene, and Batman is like getting his ass kicked, and he's like covered in water at this point, and he goes to swing and he goes, oh, just like losing his shit. And I remember both of us were like, ooh, we like that. That was one moment I remember. But like hair raising scenes on my arms. Oh, the scene in Avengers Endgame when Cap picks up Thor's hammer. That gives me little tingles all over my body. That makes me happy. Why? Because it was earned. They earned that scene because they first established that concept back in Age of Ultron. And then it finally had a payoff. And that was great. Daniel Culo. Hey, John, big fan. My last name is pronounced Coelho. I feel like I still mispronounced it. My question is, who would you cast as Penguin for the new Batman movie? Well, Colin Farrell is the Penguin. In my opinion, I don't feel like that's a very inspired casting choice. Paul Dano as the Joker is a good fit for me. Colin Farrell is the Penguin. I wish they maybe would have cast someone else. But off the top of my head, I don't know. I always thought Danny DeVito's Penguin was like near perfect, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves. A good Penguin off the top of my head, I don't know. I think, wasn't Josh Gad or Jonah Hill like in the running for the Penguin at one point? I don't know. I don't know who would make a good Penguin off the top of my head. I don't know. But I can tell you, Colin Farrell as Penguin doesn't get me that excited about it. Robert Bartson, thanks for the super chat, Robert. I'm at McDonald's. Do you want anything? Also, if you ever come to Vegas after all this crap blows over, hit me up. I'll show you all the good spots. Well, thanks, man. I actually just went to Vegas for the Samsung convention, CES, back in January. And yeah, it's a fun place. It's just a very expensive place. Like, food costs so much. It's just, I don't know. We won a little bit of money on the slot machine, but I think it was broken. So, David Newman, preferred characters, Tony Soprano or Walter White? Both are sort of flawed anti-heroes. I wouldn't even actually say either are heroes. They're both terrible people, but they're likable, right? They're likable. They're likable villains. We'll put it like that. I think Walter White might have been the more quotable of the two characters, but Tony Soprano at times was also really enjoyable to watch. I probably lean towards Walter White. My favorite scene was, besides "I'm the one who knocks," "Jesse, you must be very precise. 2 parts oxygen, 3 parts hydrogen. What don't you understand?" But I love the scene in Breaking Bad where Walter White is laying under the crawl space of his house, just crying and laughing, losing his shit. We've all been there. By the way, speaking of Breaking Bad, have you guys been watching Better Call Saul Season 5? Dude, this is a great... If you haven't watched this, you have to watch Better Call Saul. I love it. I truly love it. It's on par with Breaking Bad, in my opinion. Especially the newest season, the last few episodes were like pretty good. Highly recommend it. And by the way, Robert, thank you for the earlier super chat, man. And do I want anything at McDonald's? I'll take some nuggets with a large Diet Coke, please. Cobb Cannon, thanks for becoming a member, Cobb. I appreciate it, man. So I look forward to seeing you around here on YouTube. Orange Grape Juice. Warner Brothers reportedly Freddie Prinze Jr. as Batman. Yeah, I have heard the rumors of they originally wanted Freddie Prinze Jr. as Batman in the... was that in Batman Begins? Here's what I heard about that. I heard Freddie Prinze Jr. actually auditioned for the role of Batman, and he did a really good job. But what happened was the only reason they had him audition for it and he got into the audition was because his agent was friends with some of the producers, and they did it as like sort of like a nice gesture. But he had really no chance of getting the part. But yeah, I know Freddie Prinze Jr. is a huge fan of comics and Batman. And I don't see Freddie Prinze Jr. being that great of a Batman, but at the same time, was he good in other films? Like I Know What You Did Last Summer? Sure, yeah. Hi, I am We Did Todd. I hate your name. Hi, I am We Todd Did. Do you watch football sometimes? I do not watch football. Sometimes I watch the Super Bowl, depending on who's playing, but typically I do not watch football. I watch part of the XFW, or XFL, I'm sorry, the new Extreme Football League, which just went into bankruptcy. I did watch like part of one of their games, but I'm just not really into watching football on TV. It's just like stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. It's just not for me. The next one comes from Alex Guzman. Why does Home Alone 3 exist? Money. It exists for money. And I don't know why all the subsequent Home Alone films after the first two, they always cast the most unlikable little shithead kid you can ever find. Right? Cast somebody likable that has like charisma and a screen presence, like Macaulay Culkin, right? It's just, all those new kids they cast were just, I don't know, they couldn't fill the shoes of Macaulay Culkin. All right, the next one comes from Manny Legault. Hey, John, have you seen Underwater or The Hunt? I have not seen Underwater or The Hunt. The Hunt came out right around the time that theaters were sort of... Well, it came out when everything was sort of getting worse. And I remember like a week after The Hunt came out, theaters shut down. So yeah, I have not seen The Hunt yet, and I haven't seen Underwater. I heard it's a watchable movie. So maybe I will watch Underwater, and maybe I will make a Flick Trip video of that. I have an idea, so maybe I will do that. Actually, I think Underwater is probably only on like VOD. I'm not going to buy the Blu-ray of it. I would probably go to Redbox and rent it, but I think it won't come out on Redbox for like another 20 days or something. Azim the Dream reviews. Was Chris Pratt supposed to be Indiana Jones? That was a rumor and a lot of speculation for a while, and I would assume studios probably juggled that idea, but he essentially was Indiana Jones in the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Like the opening sequence in Guardians of the Galaxy where he's like dancing around, like that was very Indiana Jones-esque. I think casting Chris Pratt as Indiana Jones is it's a little bit too on the nose. And that just, everything you just said reminded me of a movie fight that I was in like 4 years ago where we had this same debate on what the next Indiana Jones movie should be. And I said Carl Urban should be the next Indiana Jones. That's what I said. Ryan Comex, thanks for becoming a member here on YouTube. Thank you very much, Ryan. I look forward to seeing you here on YouTube. Darth Devo Nival. That sounds like a villainous name. Batman in October, also bidet or toilet paper. Oh, bidet or toilet paper, sorry. I would love to get a bidet. I would love it. I would love that water pressure just squirting up inside of you. It just sounds so magical and mystical. And it sounds so cleaning and almost cathartic. I've actually looked into buying one many times. As far as the Batman coming out in October, which, by the way, isn't this just the most random transition of all time? Yeah, they moved the Batman back to October because the delayed production on the movie right now with everything going on. But the new Batman movie is based on the comic storyline The Long Halloween. So releasing the movie in October, it might be for the best. That's almost like a perfect time to release a Batman movie in October. It's never been done before, and I'm just like, yeah. So yeah, it sucks that we're going to have to wait a little bit longer, but I think it sounds like, based on the storyline in the movie, it sounds like a good time for me, and I'm actually going to make a movie news video all about that, so look out for that. Jonathan Reiner. Hey, John, who's your favorite wrestler right now? Right now, my favorite wrestler, It just really depends. I don't love anyone, per se, but the Scottish Psychopath, right now, the world champion, I think Drew McIntyre is... He looks like a wrestler, right? Like, when he's in the ring, like, throwing somebody around, I'm like, I believe you can do that. Don. Hey, Don. How's it going, buddy? Yes, my boy Johnny Flicks, you are all one in fully embracing the thing. You disappoint me. That never happens. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. But I'll keep it real with you guys. I keep it real. David Dillon, thoughts on Tom Holland and his Spider-Man? A lot of people say he has no arc and he's a lot like Iron Boy, but I disagree. Thoughts? Well, I think he has sort of an arc, and it's not really his fault, because what happened was the Marvel films just kind of threw him in there, threw him into the mix, and he never really had that origin movie, which I didn't necessarily need. I think he has an arc. I think he has sort of an arc. Like, he's becoming a better version of Spider-Man with each movie. And I like that he hasn't really fully developed as a Spider-Man yet. So I love Tom Holland. I think they just need to write a better movie for him, and one that doesn't rely so much on other Marvel characters or properties to help elevate the movie. Just give him a simplistic Spider-Man movie. Keep it streamlined, and I think that's what it needs. They're relying too much on other, like, Iron Man storylines and other things in the Marvel universe. Zombie X Dance, interesting name. And by the way, thank you guys all I'm seeing 444 people right now, so thank you guys for joining me live. Much appreciated, and thank you guys. Thank you so much. Hey, John Krasinski, the guy who directed A Quiet Place. Have you ever watched Mystery Science Theater 3000? I love that show. I don't know what the question was there. Yeah, I have seen Mystery Science Theater 3000. As far as John Krasinski, who is going to be in the Mr. Fantastic in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie, that's good. I like him. I like Jim from The Office, of course, and I want to see A Quiet Place 2 at some point if it's ever released. Reviews with Dario. Have you... Here, have this $2, John. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Claudio Rogajon. Hey, Claudio, how's it going, man? I'm scared the Batman will be cluttered. I think it'll be okay. Based on the storylines that they're going after, which is the Long Halloween, there's a nice balance of villains in these movies where some of the villains aren't the focal point, but they're sort of like just a character in the story, and they don't fully come to fruition. I think that's what they're going to do with this. So yeah, I think it'll be okay. I don't think it'll be cluttered. I think it'll be hopefully the perfect balance. I don't think it'll be like a Batman and a Robin, for example. It'll be sort of like the Dark Knight, right? You had Two-Face in there, you had Joker, and they balanced that just right. All right, guys, let's take a quick break because my mouth is like becoming unhinged. So I'm going to take a quick 1 or 2 minute break. So go refill your popcorn, get some more ice cubes in your drink. I'll be right back. And as soon as we come back, we're going to play the brand new game, the new segment. Well, technically not brand new, but we're going to do the new segment, Pick the Flick, where you guys can pick whatever random Blu-ray behind my head, and I will talk about it. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. And we're back. By the way, this pina colada flavored Bang tastes like tanning lotion. It's utterly just disgusting. But here I am drinking it out of desperation. Oh. By the way, Zeke said so. Thanks for the super chat. You missed my super chat, but here's another one. Thanks. I'm so sorry, Zeke, but special shout out to Zeke. I'll scroll back and look. They just start disappearing rapidly. The next one comes from Daniel Haygood. Thanks for the Streamlabs donation. And in just 1 second, we will dive into the Pick the Flick segment. And you guys are just like, what is that? I will explain it. Hey, John, first time donating. You have incredible content. How is the home fitness going? I'm taking this time to start my fitness journey, and I'm starting with home exercises and with minimal equipment. Well, thanks. Thanks, Daniel. It's going well. I like I said earlier, I have my home gym set up. I do have just enough equipment. I have like a bench press and a bench and a bar and a curl bar and some plates. And right now, if I were you, I would invest like $25 into some resistance bands with handles on them. And there's tons of things you can do with the resistance bands. And they have these little clips that you can put on them, and you put them in a door, and there's like 1,000 different exercises you can do with it. So look into resistance bands, super cheap and highly effective. I would recommend that. And Jimmy Lawson, God, you guys are already jumping into him. Give me a second, I promise. All right. Gail Bennett, thank you for the Streamlabs donation. Or Caleb Bennett, thank you. Or Caleb Benoit. Caleb Benoit. Okay, sorry. Hey man, happy belated birthday. Just wanted to say thanks for the years of content. You always keep me entertained and laughing. I am and inspiring me to work out. Always look forward to your vids. They always help me de-stress. Oh, well, thanks, Caleb, man. I appreciate that, and I'm glad to inspire you to work out, man. I get that a lot, and that makes me feel good. That makes me feel, yeah, get a pump, guys. Get a pump. Well, thanks, Caleb. Jimmy Lawson, second row, 6 from the left. I will in just 1 second, Jimmy, I promise. Cheese Wombat 1, that's an interesting name. John, I've been around since way before your shark vid, and I need some toilet paper. Swing by, man. I'll give you a roll or two. But thank you for that. Yeah, you just got to go to Walmart. You'll find some toilet paper. I promise you. Go when they open, you will find some toilet paper. Most likely. That's when I've had the best luck. But man, watching before my shark video. My shark videos. People like watching toy sharks for some odd reason on YouTube. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, I have a toy shark video that has like 2.4 million views. It's 3 minutes long. It's just me with a toy shark in my pool. I don't understand life sometimes. All right, guys. I will get to the rest of the super chats in just 1 second. Oh, Claudio, I'm scared the Batman will be... We answered that. Good, okay. So let's dive into the segment here where you guys can pick which movie you want me to watch and enjoy this awesome video intro to the segment. Just enjoy, and I'll be right back. Pick the Flick! Yay! Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, now's the time in the video where you guys can pick which movie, and I already had a few earlier that you guys presented to me. So here's how it works. Here's how it goes. You basically just tell me which row, which side, and how many in, and that's the movie I will randomly go pick up and talk about. So you can say 4th row, 5th from the right or the left. It's that easy. Just give me the coordinates of the Blu-ray you want me to talk about, and we will get to it. So let's go with the newest one first before we dive into the previous ones. Jimmy says, 2nd row, 6th from the left. I will do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put the bunny down. Cyrus the Virus. I love this movie. I love this movie maybe too much. Con Air. Nicolas Cage in a tank top. It's just truly glorious. And that scene where the wind just blows through his mullet. That made me a man the first time I watched it. This is just such a phenomenal movie. This always felt like It's produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, but this always felt like it was originally made to be a Michael Bay movie. Like, whoever wrote the script for this was like, I want Michael Bay to direct this, and that didn't happen. But I've always truly enjoyed this movie. So yeah, Con Air. You guys have to watch this at some point in your life if you've never seen it. I remember, wasn't there I think they were going to try to make a sequel to this movie at some point, but it fell through, maybe? All right, the other one we had earlier was... oh my God, I can't read my own handwriting. Row 5, 3rd from the left. So let me get that movie here. 3, 4, 5, 3rd from the left. We have Wonder Woman. Yay! Yeah, I like Wonder Woman. One of the better DC films, and this movie, I guess it proved to me that Gal Gadot could be Wonder Woman and likable. Chris Pine's character in this film is essentially like sort of like a poor man's Captain America in a way, sort of, kind of. Am I the only one who notices that? What is his name's Steve, right? It's like Steve something. It's not Steve Rogers, but it's pretty damn close. Anyway, I really enjoyed this film. I will say there's only one scene in this movie that kind of makes me cringe just a little bit, and it's when you have the young version of Wonder Woman when she's a little kid, and she jumps off the side of the cliff, and her like mom catches her or whatever, and she's just like looking up, smiling. I'm like, that didn't come across right on. It looked bad to me. It looked so cheap. So yeah, that was the random pick the flick. Then we have another one here. This is from earlier. Middle fourth row and something. I can't read my handwriting here. Why can't I read my handwriting? I can't read my handwriting there. I'm sorry. All right, I'll take a few more for the this segment, and then we'll move on to something else. So yeah, let me know the coordinates of which movie I should talk about right now. Fourth row, fourth film. Fourth row, fourth film. Fourth from the left or right. You got to give me a left or the right. Jimmy Lawson, third row, 10th from the right. Third row, 10th from the right. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Avengers Age of Ultron. By the way, my movies are not in any order whatsoever. I'm too lazy to put them in alphabetical order. But yeah, Avengers Age of Ultron, which I actually randomly just rewatched the other day on Disney+. By far my least favorite Avengers film, and I think it does some things well. It definitely has a lot of character moments that take their time. But there's other things. My biggest complaint with this movie, it's the subplot and the forced storyline with Bruce Banner and Black Widow, their love storyline. And I just don't see any connection or any chemistry between these two characters whatsoever. I always thought Black Widow had way more chemistry with like Steve Rogers, Captain America. Is it just me? The other thing I dislike about Avengers Age of Ultron is the color timing in this movie. Or you might call it the color grading. I call it the color timing. It's very like warm. It's a very warm looking movie. And it almost looks like brownish in some scenes, like smudgy, like someone put mud on top of the film or something. But yeah, I think overall it's the weakest story of all the Avengers movies. And I like James Spader as Ultron. There are no strings on me. But yeah, Avengers Age of Ultron. All right, the next one. Hi, I am we Todd did. Top row, first from the right. Top row, first from the right. Let me get that movie. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. I actually think I might prefer Hellboy 2 over the first Hellboy film with Ron Perlman. I thought it was a little more fun. And I haven't watched this in a very long time. I like the elves. I forget what their name is. The white elves or whatever the hell they're called. I don't know. But yeah, I really enjoy it. And also, there's one character, I forget his name in this movie. He's like the German character that has like a glass bulb for a head. He looks like Mysterio, but he sounds like Bane. He sounds exactly like Bane. Oh, you didn't know who I was until I put on the mask. He sounds just like Bane. Except this movie came out before The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, I remember seeing this in the theater, but I haven't watched it in a very long time. And it's way better than the newest Hellboy movie, which will have a very significant place in my top 10 worst of the movie, or top 10 worst of the year list. All right, I will take just a few more here. Here's one from, Russ Rogers. Happy birthday from Cleveland, Ohio. Well, thanks, Russ. Thank you for that. All right, Rob K. Third row, first from the left. Third row, first from the left. Fast and Furious 6. Yeah, not that good. Not that good of a movie. I love Fast 5. I thought that was like the perfect blend of going over the top. And then like 6, 7, and what are we on now? 8? I don't know. 9. This one just became instantly forgettable for me. Like, you watch this one once, there's not anything you really want to go back and revisit again. But for me, Fast 5, I can rewatch over and over again. But Fast 6, not so much. All right. A few more here. Daniel Haygood. All right, Daniel. He says, middle column, 4th row, 7th movie in from the left. Okay, let's find that one. Well, it's hard to remember the coordinates. All right, middle column, 4th row, 1, 2, 3, 4. 7th in from the left. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Almost Famous. I like this. This is a fun, like, coming of age movie. I like this film. I've always liked films that take place in like a different time period, back like in the 70s, for example, just when things were more simple. And I've always enjoyed this movie. And you have a young kid who's like an aspiring journalist who goes on the road with this band, and he becomes a man through the process. I've always enjoyed this. What's her name? Kate Winslet, right? Yeah. I've always enjoyed this movie. I don't have much more to say about it other than the fact I haven't watched it in a very long time. And holding it right now, I sort of do want to watch it again. All right, the next one comes from Jimmy Lawson. 1st row, 2nd from the right. Now, I'll take a few more of these and then we'll move on. 1st row, 2nd from the right. I almost got The Big Lebowski. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, which is by far the best Pirates of the Caribbean movie. This is how you make like a fun, fantastical pirate film, right? Not the later ones, which became like convoluted messes of nothingness. This was great. I actually never got to see this in theaters, and I remember watching it for the first time on like DVD and thinking, "Whoa, this is fun." I enjoyed watching Johnny Depp as a pirate. I truly enjoy it. You know what I wish we had more of? I wish we had more pirate movies. Like, it makes me sad that we don't. I just like the open sea adventure. It's just like, those are the kind of movies I like. I think that's why I love like Waterworld so much, because it is sort of like a pirate-esque movie in a way on the open seas where Kevin Costner is drinking his own urine and he has gills behind his ears. But that's neither here nor there. But I also like Master and Commander if you want to sort of an on-the-water time period movie with pirate-esque elements to it. All right. I'll take one more here. Just 1 second. All right. I'll take one more. Okay. I'm losing my mind. Give me one more. Come on. All right. This is the last one. Okay. 5th row, 1st movie from the right. 3, 4, 5. Ooh, you picked my 4K shelf. Good job. That's where the good stuff is. So here it is. I have the Mission Impossible 6 movie collection on 4K. It's still in the plastic. Haven't opened it yet. This has like... Really, I'd probably just watch Ghost Protocol and Fallout on 4K. Those are like the 2 best ones. Sounds like something's loose in there. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's the last one here. Loved it. Love everything about it. All right, let's move on to some questions here, and I hope you guys enjoyed that segment. I know I did. All right. Why can't I read? Benoit Blanc? Benoit Blanc? Thoughts on the trailer for Josh Trank's Capone with Tom Hardy. Looking forward to it in May. Is that going to come out in May? Is that coming out to theaters in May? I don't see that happening. So Tom Hardy was cast as Al Capone, and it's directed by Josh Trank, who directed Fantastic Four Stick. Do I want to see it? Yeah. Do the prosthetics look a little bit off? Yeah. Like there's some shots where it looks like he's a zombie. Like it looks like the prosthetics are just falling off of his face because they didn't apply enough glue. But also, keep in mind, Al Capone also had syphilis in his later years, which killed him. So maybe that's why he looks like he's... The prosthetics look so... I don't know. It looks like someone threw bologna in his face and it's dangling on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope I hope Tom Hardy gives a really good performance as Al Capone. But yeah, the prosthetics at times just look a little bit off. Jimmy Laws... Oh, we already answered that. Henrik Sanchez. 21st, fourth row. I don't... Okay, I will try to do that. I'll do one more since you sent a super chat. But no more of these. Don't ask. I won't pick any more movies off the shelf. All right, one more, guys, because I have nothing better to do. All right, I don't even remember what it was. 21st, fourth row. 3, 4... 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Ooh. My name is Morgan Freeman. Terrible impression. Yeah, The Shawshank Redemption. Loved this movie ever since watch. I first saw this movie in the mid-90s on HBO as a kid, and I've loved it ever since then. Someone earlier asked about a question about a movie that sort of inspired you or made you think a different way. And I think The Shawshank Redemption was one of those movies because it taught me that sometimes life can cheat you. It can lie to you. Things can be taken from you, but redemption will always be there. As long as you have a spoon, you can carve a hole in the wall and crawl through a tunnel of shit on your way to freedom. So yeah, The Shawshank Redemption. All right, guys, that concludes that segment. Let's move on to some random questions now. Feel free to ask whatever you want, and we'll go on from here. Russ Rogers, Al Capone died of syphilis? Yes, he did. It ate away at his brain. Most people don't know that. Isn't that interesting? All right, the next one comes. Any movie is a pirate movie if you want it to be. Interesting concept you have there. Do you still get a ton of free crap in the mail? Yes, I do. I still get free crap in the mail occasionally, and I got some free crap I'm going to talk about in just a second here. So look forward to that in just a few minutes, guys. We'll do an unboxing of this big case Universal sent me with a gentleman in it, and I'll do a live unboxing just for you guys here. All right. Okay. So yeah. John, have you listened to Bon Liver? No, I have not. Do the unboxing. I will in just 1 second. Joseph Jackson. Hey, John, what is one of the funniest things that happened to you in a while you were in high school? One of the funniest things that happened to me while I was in high school? I don't know. Where do I start? Define funny. Funniest things that happened to me while I was in high school. I remember one time, they have these, if you know what I'm talking about, sometimes schools have this. It's like this big inflatable, like dome. And they put it in the gymnasium. And inside of the dome, they have like stars that project up on the ceiling. And you can go in there and they talk about like stars and things of that nature. Well, my friend during gym class one time, it was in the gymnasium and no one was around, and he went and ran and jumped on it because he thought it would like hold him up, and it just completely crash landed right into the middle of it, and he broke like the projector screen in there, and then he got suspended from school, and I got suspended because I didn't tell on him. And then when we were both suspended from school, we just ended up hanging out for like 2 days, and it was like a nice little vacation. That's one story I have. Does anyone, those like little planetarium things, does anyone else remember those from school? Mr. K.W. Jones, what movie have you watched and then instantly wanted to watch it again? I did that with Inside Man, Back Off War Child. Seriously. Good one. Yeah, Inside Man. Not a lot of people talk about that Clive Owen movie. I love that. That's a great kind of twist and very smart way to rob a bank. A movie that I instantly wanted to rewatch again. Sometimes I don't want to instantly rewatch the movie. I usually want to like go home and think about it, then I'll go back like the next day or the next day. But some movies I remember watching over and over in the theater. I remember watching The Dark Knight like 2 or 3 times at the theater. I remember watching The Dark Knight Rises like 2 or 3 times at the theater because I would go see the movie with someone. Then I'd have another friend that would want to go see it. And heck, I remember back in 2007 when the Michael Bay first Transformers movie came out. Me and my friend loved that movie. We were blown away by it. It was like it was just mind blowing the first time you saw that. And I think we went back to see that movie like once or twice, and it was just really enjoyable. And yeah. So there you go. Claudio? Claudio Rogajon, sorry. Okay. What's the craziest thing you did in high school? I don't know where to start with that. I really don't. A lot of reckless, crazy things throughout the years of high school. Most of them involved my vehicle. I remember one time I like jumped over train tracks, going like 70 miles per hour. And it was just, I don't know, man. It was like I was in Dukes of Hazzard. I don't know why I did half the things I did. I don't recommend doing that though. But you know what I remember most about high school was you weren't supposed to leave school during school hours, but me and my friends would always just walk out of the side door and we go to Pizza Hut and eat the Pizza Hut buffet during lunch. That was a good memory. I always recall doing that. Jimmy Lawson, did you hear they are making a weird Fortnite movie? I heard nothing about a weird Fortnite movie. I know nothing about it. Where's the poop sock, John? I don't know what your poop sock. What are you talking about? Talking about swabbing the poop deck? Have you seen the Santa Claus 3? Yes, with what is the character's name? Jack Frost. He looks like Mr. Freeze, played by I forget his name. I've seen parts of it. Utterly terrible. All right, guys, let's do this live unboxing. Oh, we got another. Oh, Azim the Dream Reviews. Johnny, I got a super up top for you. I will find it here in a second. John, I got a super up top for you. I'm trying to find Azim the Dream Reviews. David Dillon, thoughts on Uncle Ben not mentioned in the MCU. I think people are just tired of watching Uncle Ben die. We can only take it so many times. Just like seeing Batman's parents murdered in the streets of Gotham, we can only take it so many times. I think as long as they allude to it, that's enough. We don't need to we don't necessarily need to relive it. All right, we'll go back down. Okay. Azim, I will get to your question. Joshua Garrison. John, did you know I love you? Well, I didn't know that, but thank you. Thank you for confessing your love right now. All right. I'm looking, Azim. I will find this question. Oh, here it is. Azim the Dream Reviews. All right. Was Jurassic Park supposed to be a trilogy or more? Spielberg bought the rights to 6 films. I feel like the dinos on the mainland should have happened in Jurassic Park 3. And again, I love the theme park aspect of Jurassic World? I kind of understand your question here. Honestly, the first one's the best. They kind of dropped the ball in all the subsequent films. I would have liked to see. I thought they sort of tacked on Jurassic Lost World, where the T-Rex shows up in San Diego at the very end, and somehow is on the ship, and then he eats the one guy that's holding on to the what was it, like the steering wheel of the ship, but only his arms dangling there, but it's inside, so the T-Rex actually couldn't reach him to bite his arm off. Anyway, that whole ending just felt so tacked on. But yes, what I like to see, like, here's what I'm looking forward to. In the upcoming Jurassic World, where dinosaurs are on the loose, just killing a whole bunch of innocent people, living their lives. That sounds bad, the way I just put that. But either way, that's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see dinosaurs on the loose, causing chaos. I think that's what we've all wanted to see. And I feel like in each of the films, they had to find some kind of weird reason or some kind of convoluted reason to go back to the island. And they also had to come up with another reason of, hey guys, we're opening up another park again. This never worked before. It hasn't worked the second time. It's not going to work the third time. But here we go again. They've always had to kind of use the majority of the movie to explain that away. And it's just like, the parks don't work, okay? So, I'm looking forward to Jurassic World. I will say that much. I think I answered your question, sort of, kind of. Jake W., what are your thoughts on the movie City of God? I don't remember anything about the movie City of God at all, whatsoever. I remember nothing about it. I'm sorry. Jacob Grant, hey John, do you think When Harry Met Sally is the best romantic comedy? If not, what would you say is? The best romantic comedy is probably Silence of the Lambs, where you have Buffalo Bill just keeping that lady trapped in his well, and they fall in love and live happily ever after with Precious. I'm kidding. Sleepless in Seattle always stood out to me for some odd reason. And then I remember watching You've Got Mail like 15 times on HBO as a kid, thinking, this is a weird movie. Why am I watching this? Why do I like this? And I don't know why. But I consider movies like Forgetting Sarah Marshall like a good modern day romantic comedy movie. Mark Lee, come up with your own Terminator sequel. Come up with my own Terminator sequel. What you do is you stop trying to rehash the same shit you rehash, and every time you do it, try not to destroy the legacy that was already built. So don't kill off great characters within the first 5 minutes of your movie, Terminator Dark Fate, you piece of shit. So what you would do is you set the movie in the future. You have older John Connor essentially being the leader of the resistance, and you carry the storyline on from there. That's what I would probably do. And if you want to have some element of going back in time at one point in that movie, that would be kind of cool. But just go into the future. Go into the war that they've always said was going to happen. Go into that post-apocalyptic future. I think there's so much you can do with that. So much potential. And Salvation tapped into that a little bit and got lost along the way. But at least it tried to be something different. But that's what I would do with it. Claudio, if the Batman is based on Long Halloween, Two-Face has to be in it. He's a pivotal part in the story. Do you think he will be in it? Yeah, Two-Face will definitely be in the new Batman movie. To what extent, I don't know. I hope he's more or less like more of a supporting, like they need one focus point. They need one villain who's the focus point, and they just need sort of a supporting character to share the screen time with. So yeah, he'll definitely be in the movie, but to what extent, I don't know. Mike McCarty, what is the best Keanu Reeves movie, and why is it Lake House? I thought we all forgot about the movie Lake House. What a terrible movie. For me, the best Keanu Reeves movie is Point Break. Johnny Utah, undercover FBI agent, befriends a bank robber who's also a great surfer who just wants to live the endless summer and has a great life motto. And I love Bodhi's life motto. It was never about the money, man. It was about us against the system, showing that the human spirit's still alive while everyone else inches down the freeway in their middle coffins. I need to put that on a t-shirt. Anyway, probably besides Point Break, I think The Matrix is also a really good Keanu Reeves movie. Speed is also another one of my favorite Keanu Reeves movies. Bill and Ted, good, but not one of my favorite Keanu Reeves movies. T. Stanfield, 55. You ever dance with a devil in a pale moonlight? I've been asked that question many times. And yes, I have. Flinner. Aliens or T2? You missed my super chat from earlier. Well, Flinner, I'm sorry. If I had to pick between Aliens or T2, I'm definitely going to go with T2. It's my favorite action movie of all time. I like Aliens. I really enjoy it. But it's not like one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think that's only because the first time I watched Aliens was probably in the late 90s. Really great. I love James. It's a great James Cameron action movie. But for me, I just resonated with T2 so much because of the character of young John Connor played by Edward Furlong. And I just always imagined myself as little John Connor riding on my dirt bike with my best friend who has a ginger mullet behind me, and we go to rob ATMs with an Atari, and then we go to the arcades, and then I'm subsequently chased by T-1000 who's trying to kill me. So, yeah, that's what I've always wanted in my life, and that's what I wanted with my childhood, and it never happened. So disappointed. Flinner asked an earlier super chat. Hello, Jonathan. Better movie, Halloween 1978 or Elm Street 1984? Are you excited for Halloween Kills? Test screenings say it's much better than a 2018 film. Well, typically test screenings always say the movie's really good. But yeah, I would say I think Halloween 78 is the overall better film. It's a bit more... If I had to put one as like the better horror film, I would say Halloween 78. But Nightmare on Elm Street is right beside it for me. Nightmare on Elm Street's my favorite. I just feel like there's more to grasp onto. I love Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger, all that charisma, that eeriness that came with it. And the concept alone is amazing. But yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street's way more fantastical of a horror film compared to Halloween 78. Both great, but yeah, if I had to pick one from a critical standpoint, I think Halloween is probably the better. I'm looking forward to Halloween Kills. I hope it's better than the 2018 Halloween movie. Dylan Peter, thanks for the Streamlabs donation. Favorite Mark Wahlberg movie. Also, can we get an impression from that movie? I gotta get a pump. That's Pain and Gain, but not my favorite Mark Wahlberg movie. But though Mark Wahlberg was perfectly cast for the movie Pain and Gain, I think the character of Dirk Diggler in Boogie Nights, played by Mark Wahlberg, was also really great. Well, Jack, I've been thinking a lot about my name lately, and every time I close my eyes, I see these bright, shiny neon letters. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorites. Yeah. By the way, speaking of Boogie Nights, I like the scene where they have these porn parodies where they have like the two detective characters, and it's like the most cliche like 70s action sequences ever. I love those scenes in Boogie Nights. Hilarious. Norwegian Collector, have you seen the house that Jack built? Give it a chance if you haven't. Jack would go very well with a sociopathic trilogy along with Louis Bloom and Patrick Bateman. Dark and morbid humor. Well, those are all the aspects of a movie I like. I have not seen it. I have heard good things about the movie. I've never got around to watching it. People have told me for years to watch it, and I love sociopaths in movies, so yeah, I will get around to watching it eventually. Matt, John, I beg you please watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's extremely dark humor. We answered that earlier. Okay, Matt, I will watch it. All right, the next one comes from Steven. I've always wanted to watch Escape from New York, but your live stream last week forced me to seek it out. I watched it last night, and now And now one of my favorites. Well, good, man. Escape from New York just has all these little elements that I love about a movie. Like, it has like this synthy 80s score, which John Carpenter was infamous for. That's what he always does with his movies. But like the vibe of it, like the urban decay in that movie, and Snake Plissken, just badass action character. It has everything you love. And then, like, I love the fight scene between Snake Plissken and, like, the warrior, or not, the wrestler guy. Yeah, I love that. Where they're using trash cans as shields. Love everything about it. Duke of New York. T. Stanfield 55. What is your favorite Western movie, and why is it Tombstone? Big fan. Keep up the great work, man. Tombstone is my favorite Western movie. I would say the Man with No Name trilogy is probably up there. But because Clint Eastwood's such a badass, I really enjoy Unforgiven. I've said this once, I'll say it again. I like Young Guns with Emilio Estevez. It's corny, hokey shit, but I really enjoy it. And I also like Django Unchained as a Western movie. Cordless Cordy. I faced my fear and watched the Lord of the Rings spider scene. It was a great trilogy, and I watched it for the first time. Now I need to watch the Hobbit trilogy. Yeah, good luck with the Hobbit trilogy. Talk about disappointment. Talk about 6 hours of film that should have been condensed into like 3 hours. They were just really milking that for all they had. But I hope you enjoy it. Cheese Wombat 1. Did you know that Sour Patch Kids and Swedish Fish are the same? Also, I miss Chris. Are you guys going to collab soon? Maybe down the road eventually. I don't know. We live like 9 hours apart. Swedish Fish and Sour Patch Kids are not the same. Swedish Fish are like hard rubbery things that you have to chew for 15 hours to finally consume it. They don't have like a sugary outer coating. They're kind of just like, they're like rubber. Swedish Fish are like rubbery. Yeah, not as soft either. I would disagree with that. Henrik Sanchez. John Wick's 3 horsing around scene is wicked. Yeah, John Wick riding a horse anytime is also phenomenal. I enjoy it. I still enjoy the first movie the most with the club scene. So great. I want more of that. All right. Can Ucker fan? Hey John, I have a tough time connecting with older movies pre-70s. A few are excellent, like 12 Angry Men, Rear Window, but they're few and far between. I understand that they made a difference in the era, but I find myself enjoying newer ones. Thoughts? Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I really don't disagree with you. For me, a lot of my favorite films, begin in the 1970s and on. Pre-1970s, there's a lot of great classics people regard as classics. They paved the way from a cinematic, technical standpoint with some of the things that they've done. But yeah, something about the way films started to be made in the 70s, they just resonated with me a little bit more. Like in the 70s. You have Taxi Driver, which I just watched on Netflix the other day. I still love it. I love it I actually pick up on little things every time I watch it. Then you have like movies like The Warriors, which came out in the 70s, Star Wars. So for me, 70s is like the time period, the latest I go back and really love rewatching those movies over and over again. But then again, I still enjoy like Wizard of Oz and but I do agree with you, and that's okay. It's just that's your preference. Hakeem Arman. Hey, John. How's it going? Best of luck, man. Well, thanks, Hakeem, and it's going well, and I hope you're doing well, too. D.D. Castris. What are your thoughts on Prometheus and Alien Covenant? Well, I have a review for both movies, and I can almost share the same thoughts in each movie. Really great concepts, but they fail in execution along the way. For me, Prometheus was one of those films. Here's my biggest thing. I wish both movies became more of a thinking man movie rather than trying to do things for the sake of pleasing an older fan base. And what I mean by that is like Alien Covenant. In the third act of that movie, they're like, we need to have fan service. So what do? They give you xenomorph fan service. Just killing people on a spaceship for 10 minutes. It just felt tacked on to me. And also the flute scene in Alien Covenant with Michael Fassbender was a little bit weird, to say the least. You hold and I'll blow. But yeah, the thing I enjoyed most about the film was I wanted to see more about the space jockeys, the engineers. I wanted more about that. I wanted them to really explore that. And then spoilers, but in Alien Covenant, they show like their civilization of the engineers in their little city, and then and then they're all living their life, and they look up in the sky, and you see Michael Fassbender's character David, and he just drops a black goo atomic bomb and just kills them all, and you're just like, oh, I wanted more than that. And in Prometheus, I love a lot of things about Prometheus. I love the way it looks. I love the concept. But there's just like little things that take you out of the movie, especially when you have the two scientists that were sent on the mission, specifically because of what they do. And they should take that serious. And then they're discovering alien life, and they're in that cave, and they're like, there's an alien creature that pops up from the black goo, and they're like, oh, Gucci Gucci goo. And then it turns into like a B-rate sci-fi horror film. And then you have the very end of Prometheus, where you have Waylon, who wants to discover the secret of life, which I think that's really interesting. I liked that concept. And then he confronts the engineer, and the engineer just becomes mad monster guy and rips his head off. Why would this advanced alien race do that? Why? I don't know. It just sort of felt like a letdown. But other than that, I enjoy both movies, like 80% of both movies. It's just like that 20% you think, oh man, this could have been more than it was, but it just didn't quite get there. Hope I answered your question. Hi, I am We Did Todd Did. I can't read your name. Thoughts on Gran Torino? Have you seen it? Absolutely. I've talked about Gran Torino 3,000 times. Yeah, get off my lawn. Shut the fuck up. I love Gran Torino. Hilarious. If that was the last Clint Eastwood movie ever, that would have been... He topped himself on that movie. That's one of my favorite Clint Eastwood movies, and probably my favorite Clint Eastwood performance of all time. It really encapsulates Clint Eastwood as like that rugged badass. I love it. Also, his character sort of reminded me of my grandfather just a little bit. We watched a movie. Hey, we watched a movie. I hope you guys are doing well, man. I respect your love for buying frozen chicken sandwiches in the middle of the night, and that's what I have to say with my comment. Well, thank you for that, and I hope things are going well up in Kentucky, right? So yeah, I've been watching a few of your videos lately. So yeah, we watched a movie. Good YouTube channel, especially if you like Halloween. Tyson Sherborne, what is your favorite movie of 2020 so far? Mine is maybe The Gentleman. Not much to select from. Haha. Happy late birthday. I just turned 21 last week. Well, happy birthday to you as well, Tyson. And thank you for that. My favorite movie of 2020 so far, and you're right, there's not a lot to pick from, is there? I don't know. I can't say I don't really have a favorite movie just yet. I liked Onward. I thought it was okay. I liked Sonic. I enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. As far as having like a favorite movie of 2020, I don't have one yet. And speaking of The Gentleman, let's open up the unboxing from The Gentleman that was sent to me by Universal. I will do that, and I will answer this real quick. Carl Mintz. Hi, John. Keep up the great work. Well, Carl, thank you for that, and thank you for watching, Carl. Let me take a drink of this disgusting pina colada drink real quick. It just tastes like tanning lotion. So gross. Never buy this flavor of Bang. Never buy it. Oh, gosh. All right, I'm going to open this box up in just 1 second. I just want to keep up with your questions here, guys, so I don't miss any. Your thoughts on Zodiac 2007 movie. Love it so much. I have never been hooked into a case for so long. It's crazy to believe it's been 50 years. Yeah, Corliss Cordy. Yeah, I like Zodiac. Fun story, real quick. I actually remember seeing Zodiac in theaters, and here's what happened. I was working two jobs at the time, going to school, and by the time I went to see the latest showing of Zodiac, an hour into the movie, I fell asleep because I was tired. And then I watched the movie when it came out on DVD, and I really enjoyed the movie. I love movies about real life crime cases. And also, by the way, speaking of that, I highly recommend watching Mindhunters, the Netflix series, which is all about like FBI investigations based on real events. Truly fascinating stuff. I love it. It's also the first episode was directed by David Fincher as well and produced by him, the later episodes. So highly recommend watching that if you haven't. Carl Mintz, have you seen Clint Eastwood's The Rookie? The Rookie. Was that the baseball movie that came out a few years ago? I don't remember The Rookie, but I have seen Heartbreak Ridge. Christopher, thanks for the sticker emoji thing. How's it going? Well, it's going good, Christopher. How are you doing? And thank you for that, man. Hope you're doing well, bud. Jimmy Lawson, can you give me the digital code for the gentleman? Maybe I can. I don't know, Jimmy. I don't know. It's kind of first come, first serve, man. I don't know. Maybe I can hold it up, I guess. Wiley Todd. John, go on the Outlaw Nation show with Roca. Yeah, Roca we were talking on Twitter a while back, and he said he'd like me on it. We just haven't figured out a time. I would also like people on this as well. I would like to invite guests on this occasionally, and I need to figure out the logistics of doing it because half the time the live stream doesn't work right. My software fails, as you guys know. During the first 10 minutes of this live stream, it just sounded like I was underwater dying. So I will figure it out eventually. All right, guys. So let's open up something. Give me 1 second. All right, you guys ready for the unboxing? Let me know down below in the comments section. And if you are, give the video a thumbs up and we will open this up. Claudio Rogajon. If Two-Face in the film, and this is going to be the last super chat, so hold off for like 5 minutes on super chats, guys. Claudio, if Two-Face is in the film and people compare him to the Dark Knight, I will cringe as Two-Face in the Dark Knight is straight from Long Halloween. Yeah, strong, very similar, but it's the character. I mean, if both movies get the character right, you can't get mad at either character or if there's a comparison. I hope Colin Farrell is a good interpretation of Harvey Dent Two-Face. All I can say is I'm looking forward to it. All right, guys, are you ready for the unboxing? Let's unbox The Gentleman. This was sent to me by Universal Studios, and I believe The Gentleman did come out today on 4K and regular Blu-ray. So there's my plug for The Gentleman, Universal. I hope you're happy. All right, so let's open this up. I like this. This is, ooh, look at this. Okay, here's some info about the movie. It's all packaged. I like that. All right. Let's see what we have in the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? Let's bring this a little bit closer. All right, so the first thing we have in the box, we have these glasses from the movie The Gentleman. Let me try to... I'll put the glasses on. How's this look, guys? Do I look like a sociopathic serial killer from 1979? Because that's how I feel. And then we have in the box, The Gentleman. These are playing cards. So that's pretty cool. Now, keep in mind, I have not seen The Gentleman yet. I really want to. I know it's a Guy Ritchie film. It's based on true events about a criminal enterprise, and those are my favorite types of movies, so I'm really looking forward to watching this. And then also in here, ooh, what is this? It's like a little velvet sack. A little velvet sack. Doesn't that sound great? Oh, man, what are... Okay, these are interesting. The Gentleman... So, I don't know what these are like little dice. They say The Gentleman on it. But they're not dice. They don't actually have anything on them. So are these? I don't know if they made a mistake. Are these in the movie or something? I don't know. I get that there's like a gambling aspect here, but I don't know. These were supposed to be dice, but they don't have anything on. Okay. Either way. And there's a few more things in here, but let's actually. Ooh, what is this? Okay, this is why I was looking forward to this unboxing the most. And okay, so it comes with this glass here. This says the Gentleman on it, but they also sent me the Gentleman Jack distilled bottled by Jack Daniel Distillery, 50 milliliters. So this is some 40% alcohol. So they sent me some whiskey. They sent me some whiskey. So thank you, Universal Studios. Thank you so much. Let's get drunk and watch The Gentleman. All right, guys. Should I drink this now? Should I take a little drink of this? This fine beverage? Yeah, I think I will. All right. So, all right, that's everything in the unboxing here. And then you have The Gentleman here on 4K. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to this. I don't know why I never watched this in theaters. I don't know how it just passed me over. I've heard good things about it. But I might watch this like tonight or tomorrow. Someone said whiskey rocks. And Patrick, The Gentleman is amazing if you're a fan of dirty British street slang where you can barely understand what they're saying. You'll love it. Oh, I love dirty British street slang. Show me your pinchers, you dirty wanker. That's what I always say. Show me your pinchers, you dirty wanker. Yeah, so here's The Gentleman 4K. Open it up here. It just smells like plastic, which is a phenomenal smell. You have the 4K. You have the normal Blu-ray edition in there. And here's the back of it. You got some special features on there. The Gentleman Quips, glossary of cannabis, behind the scenes of The Gentleman photo gallery. All right, so I'm looking forward to this. You got Matthew McConaughey in the movie. All right. And then here's the Gentleman digital download copy code. Can you guys read that? I don't know. I'll read it off to you very quickly, though. So The Gentleman. Go to itunes.com/redeem. Are you guys ready for the digital copy code? This is just for you guys. Whoever gets it first owns it. So get ready. Get ready to start typing. A3KJ7JFT3 N as in no, M as in movie, and W as in, I don't know. Whoa. Okay. All right, guys. So yeah, I hope you guys, whoever got that, enjoys it. And you're welcome. So yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on The Gentleman? If you've seen the movie, what did you think about it? All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick break right here. Right now, I'm going to pour myself a glass of this whiskey here, and then we'll continue on with the live stream. And I'm going to keep these on. I kind of like them. I don't know why. This just feels like if this was 1985, this is what I would look like. How do you feel about that? I look like my uncle Gary right now, which is kind of it's a scary thing. All right, guys, I'll be right back in just a few seconds. Don't go anywhere. If you guys want to go fill up some whiskey or some Diet Mountain Dew or whatever you want to drink and grab some more popcorn, I'll be back in just a few seconds. All right, don't go anywhere. All right, guys, smash that like button and let's get wasted. A little bit will do you. That's always been my motto. Ooh, I should probably clean this glass before I drink out of it, huh? I didn't think that through. That's okay. That's okay. We'll just take a little sip now. Ooh, it's good stuff. I call this Grandpa's cough medicine. Okay. Ooh, that's strong. I'm ready. All right. Patrick John looks like himself if YouTube didn't work out and he became a tax accountant. Trust me, you don't want me doing your taxes. Trust me, you don't. All right. So let's dive into some more questions here, guys, and we can talk about whatever you want to for a little bit longer. Retro futuristic look. Okay. Claudio Rogajan. The cubes are for the whiskey, freeze them. Oh, thank you for letting me know that. I thought they were supposed to be dice. Okay, so you freeze these and put them in the glass. That's classy. I'm glad you told me that. Okay, so you freeze them, put them in the glass. Interesting. Okay. Okay, thank you for letting me know. You must be a man of taste. I am not. All right. Drink, drink, drink. I will try. John Gomez. John, who's your favorite comedian? I would say of all time, probably George Carlin. I loved his political commentary and social commentary on just life in general because he got it. He understood it. And I got to see him once before he passed away, which was really cool. The Holloway Boys, Terminator Genesis, or Dark Fate, which is worse? You know, it's hard to pick which one is worse. They're both atrocious abominations and crimes against humanity. I hate both movies. They were both such big letdowns. I hated everything about them. I don't understand why studios waste millions of dollars in Arnold's precious talent and muscle definition on such terrible movies. But if I had to pick one, I think the biggest slap in the face didn't necessarily come from Terminator Genesis. It came from Dark Fate because it essentially undid what T2 did within the first 5 minutes of the movie for no reason whatsoever, and then tried to remake another version of T2, and it failed miserably. So I would probably say the biggest letdown was Dark Fate. Genesis was terrible, don't get me wrong, but Dark Fate, ugh. All right, let's answer a few more questions from you guys. What are your thoughts on Guy Ritchie as a filmmaker? I've never loved a Guy Ritchie movie. I've never loved one. I think Matthew Vaughn, who's a comparable director to Guy Ritchie, I've always preferred Matthew Vaughn movies over Guy Ritchie movies. And they're both very similar. But yeah, Guy Ritchie, like he directed the Sherlock Holmes films, and I never liked them. I start to like clock out halfway through each one of those movies. Yeah, I know a lot of people like Lock, Stocked, and Smoking Barrels and a lot of Guy Ritchie movies. And Guy Ritchie directed the new Aladdin movie, which pretty much the definition of instantly forgettable. I think he's got talent, and I'm hoping The Gentleman is great. But I've never been a huge Guy Ritchie fan. How was your dog? My dog is great. We played ball and fetch yesterday, and yeah, she's doing well. Have you seen Harsh Times with Christian Bale? Oh my gosh, thank you for saying that. That's a movie no one talks about. I love Harsh Times with Christian Bale. Yo, dog, I'd steal your shoes, but you got little bitch feet. I love Harsh Times. If you haven't seen Harsh Times, please watch it. I guess it's similar to like Training Day. It's the same writer. But man, Harsh Times, it's one of the most underrated Christian Bale movies of all time, where he does play sort of like a split personality sociopath once again, where he comes across very straight-laced, but he's really kind of like LA urban hood. And it's just a movie about two dudes cruising around all day, getting into trouble. And it gets pretty dark by the end of the movie, but I recommend everyone go watch Harsh Times. I love that movie. Kevin, favorite cereal. I have not eaten cereal in months, but honestly, Frosted Flakes were always good. Honey Nut Cheerios always tasted like the healthiest. There's some cereals where you just feel like you're eating like cubes of sugar. Cinnamon Toast Crunch was always good. Apple Jacks were good. Captain Crunch was always good, but then it'd rip the lining of your mouth until you bled to death. Like if you don't chew Captain Crunch just right, it will literally kill you. Patrick, which actor do you think got the best shape for a role? I think Stallone for Rocky IV. Arnold doesn't count because he was a bodybuilder first. All right, okay, Arnold doesn't count, whatever you say. Yeah, Stallone back in the 80s was definitely using some anabolic help. And he still is, actually. But yeah, Stallone back in some of the later Rambo, Rocky movies, especially in the mid-80s. Oh, dude, that dude was jacked out of his mind. He was leaner than ever. So yeah, I definitely would go with that. Another actor, the overall best shape. Jake Gyllenhaal got in shape for Southpaw. He got pretty lean for that movie. Jake Gyllenhaal also got really buff for the Prince of Persia movie. And then you had Christian Bale also got pretty buff for Batman Begins. He gained like the backstory to Christian Bale getting buff for Batman Begins. Originally, Chris Nolan did not want him to get that big. He sort of wanted the leaner version of Batman like you got in The Dark Knight. And then Christian Bale showed up after like doing bodybuilding training and gaining like 40 pounds of muscle. And Christopher Nolan was actually upset with him being that big and bulky. He didn't want a big, bulky Batman. So, yeah. Kylan Kane, thoughts on District 9 and when and would you watch a sequel? Yeah, I was always baffled that we never actually got a sequel to just District 9 because it led itself to the perfect sequel that would be really entertaining and fun. And yeah, I was always really disappointed that we never got that. I don't understand why we never got that movie. And originally, the reason that we got District 9, the movie in the first place, was because they originally were in pre-production for a Halo movie, and they had all these props, and they already spent like $30 million on some of the... they already spent $30 million on the movie, and then once they canceled the Halo movie, they're like, well, we have these guns and shit, what do we do with them? And someone's like, I have an idea for a movie. So that's why we got District 9. Funky Ducky... what the hell? I just logged back on, and now the live stream is with Clark Kent. Yes, I am. Yes, this is my disguise, guys. John Gomez. John, what actor do you think deserves a documentary? I vote Sean Connery or Christian Bale. Sure, either one. I think Keanu Reeves would be a good documentary because that dude has had a life of tragedy. If you read the real life story of Keanu Reeves, like everyone in his life has died tragically. So I think that would be a fascinating documentary. Your thoughts on Christian Bale playing the villain in Thor: Love and Thunder? Dude, listen, Christian Bale is one of my favorite actors. To see him in a villainous role, yes, please. I think he'll actually bring some kind of like gravitas and charisma to that role. And the thing about movies with superheroes, the villains are what define those movies. You need a great, memorable villain because that only makes the hero that much better. And when you sort of have like a generic bad guy in a movie, it's just like, I don't care about the conflict any longer. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Patrick, what's the perfect way for a movie to grab you and get your attention right out of the gate? I think making you care about a character relating to the movie and immersing you into whatever environment the movie's in. So if I see a movie and I instantly relate or like a person in that movie, or there's something that they say that translates to me, that's one way that I think a movie grabs my attention right away. Thor finally getting a good villain that isn't Loki. Yeah, I agree. And does anyone remember Thor, the Dark World with the shitty elves? Ugh. Elliot. Hey, John. Thoughts on 24? Jack Bauer, such a legend. I've never really watched 24. I never got into it, unfortunately. So I can't really say much. I like Kiefer Sutherland. I really liked him as the villain in Stand By Me. Henrik Sanchez, excited for Extraction out this Friday. What is Extra Action? Oh, I'm sorry. Excited for Extra Action out this Friday? What is Extra Action? Is Extra Action a movie? Have I fallen so far behind on the times I don't know what this is? I don't know what it is, man. I'm sorry. Star Wars fan just subscribed. Well, thank you for that. Tyler Van, worst Best Picture winner. Where do we start with worst picture winner? I will say they got it right this year with Parasite. Good job. But over the years, I would say like Moonlight, Crash. The movie Crash was not worthy of Best Picture of the year. Those are a few off the top of my head. I'm sure there's like 25 others. But off the top of my head, I'd say Moonlight and Crash are the two I always go to where I was like, no one's going to want to watch these movies a year from now. These aren't going to stand the test of time and transcend. And they didn't. Because no one talks about them. Claudio. Bill couldn't fit in the suit. They called him Fat Man. Yeah, that's right. He actually couldn't. Yeah, but I like a buff Batman. I like to see a hero that actually looks like he can kick someone's ass. So, Tyler, we already answered that one. John Gomez, what's your favorite action TV show? Favorite action TV show? Trying to think of some of my go-to action TV shows. I watch a lot of like crime drama series, but action, like with action in it. Huh. I need to think about that. Yeah, list some of your favorite action-packed TV shows. I'm really trying to like scour my brain right now. I mean, like, you don't count Ozark or Breaking Bad. I like the first like 2 seasons of The Walking Dead. Mr. KW Jones, I just went and got 2 frozen burritos at the gas station. Where did my life go wrong? Also, please give me a movie I should watch tonight. Frozen gas station burritos are that sounds actually good right now. That sounds delicious. I have a frozen Chick-fil-A sandwich I bought earlier in the refrigerator right now that I really want to go eat. Which movie should you watch tonight? Well, maybe you can pick one of the movies I picked out earlier. Actually, you know what you can do? You can go to Netflix and watch Taxi Driver. That's what you should watch. Or you can watch The Shawshank Redemption. Or you can watch Casino Royale. Or you can watch The Joker on 4K, which was a birthday gift from Amber. So, yeah. Happy birthday to me. And you get what you deserve! Daredevil. Yeah, Daredevil's an action-packed TV. Yes, Daredevil. I think the first few seasons, I guess season 3 counts too. But yeah, Daredevil was a really good Netflix action-packed show. Do you watch any of the DC shows on the CW? Amber's watching Gotham. I don't necessarily love the show Gotham. I've watched a few episodes along the way. Some of it's good. Some of it's like too hokey. And my biggest complaint with the show Gotham is every time they dive into like a storyline that's interesting or they set up something that's really fascinating and suspenseful, it's like the show just wants to get done with it as quickly as it possibly can because it feels like it's an obligation. And it feels like they're making the show for people with attention spans of like 3.1 seconds. For example, there was one... what is the villain's name? Azazel, the villain from Batman. Is it Azazel? Either way, there was one episode in Gotham where he was coming to kill young Bruce Wayne. And so you have Bruce Wayne and Alfred in the Wayne mansion locking up all the windows, getting ready for his arrival. And I was like, ooh, you could dedicate like a whole episode of them like holding down Wayne Manor and protecting themselves, almost like Home Alone style, against this intruder. And then like 3 seconds later, Bruce Wayne walks up to a broken window and he's like, Alfred, he's here. And it's just like, if he's looking for you, how did he not just find you by you screaming down the hallway? Just little things like that bothering me about the show Gotham. Am I ranting right now? I feel like I am. The next question comes from Patrick. Favorite celeb interview? Mine is the one of Ryan Gosling and Ford on Blade Runner press tour. Yeah, I don't remember that one specifically. I don't remember that interview specifically. I like the awkward interviews with actors. Those are always my favorite. There's also on a red carpet event, there's one incident where you have Tom Cruise being interviewed by someone and they squirt water in his face. And you can just see him going from like happy psychopath Tom Cruise to like, he's just like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? You can tell he just wanted to kill the guy, and he probably hired someone to kill him later that night. But yeah, I always like awkward celebrity interviews. There's also one. There was a Jennifer Gardner. Was it Jennifer Gardner? Am I saying that right? Ben Affleck's wife. She was in Daredevil. Jennifer Gardner. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Jennifer Gardner was on the Conan O'Brien show once. And she corrected him and said something he said wasn't a word, and they looked up in the dictionary and he was right. I liked that interview as well. Solo, Rise of Skywalker, 1 through 10. I have a movie review for Rise of Skywalker if you want to watch it. I gave the movie a C. I think I gave Rise of Skywalker a C, maybe a C minus. I just feel like the biggest detriment to that movie was this is the conclusion of the saga, and it just feels like they were making it up as they went, and it's just like, yeah, because of clones, let's tack that shit in here. It just felt half baked, and it didn't feel as clever or as thought provoking or as meaningful as you wanted it to. It just sort of felt like a movie it felt like they rushed through it, and it was an obligation to everyone involved. Kylan Kane, have you seen Affliction with Nick Nolte? It's a great movie. I'd recommend if you haven't seen it. I have not seen Affliction, but I love Nick Nolte. I like newer Nick Nolte too. What's a real nice thing we did for that boy in that tank, Tommy? Yeah, Nick Nolte in the movie Warrior is just phenomenal, but I have not seen Affliction. D-Truck52, Joe. Extraction, new Chris Hemsworth Netflix action movie from Russo brothers, directed by their stunt coordinator, out on Friday. Looks awesome. Yeah, I think I saw a trailer for that. It sort of looked like a generic action movie that would come straight to DVD in the Blu-ray $5 bin at Walmart. But I am intrigued by it. So, yeah, and the fact that the Russo brothers are involved, it could be good. Let me take another drink of this. Oh. I don't need to chase it with anything. A gentleman doesn't chase. Tyler Van, what movies have you cried in? There's a lot of movies that sort of bring up make a little tear want to trickle down my cheek. I thought the third act of Onward was emotional, and it kind of made me want to cry inside. I thought that was really good. That's like the newest one that sort of provoked an emotion out of me. Movies like Stand By Me, like the very end to Stand By Me, where you have Richard Dreyfuss recalling his life, it sort of just makes you think about your own life and your own mortality. Night King 01, everything you said about Gotham is true. Azrael. Yeah. Did I say Azazel or something? Yeah, Azrael. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for accrediting my own opinion. So thank you for that. I thought I was the only one. Patrick, John, why was your voice so deep in your vids from 2015, 16, and 17? Did you edit it? No, I didn't edit anything. I think it was just the way I was projecting my voice in those videos. I think in that time period, I wanted to have more of a shtick in my videos. I just kind of wanted to be more like, I don't know, a little more in your face, I guess, right? And since then, I've sort of calmed down a little bit. But I was like, hey guys, I'm talking about this brand new movie today starring, I don't know, Chris Hemsworth. And I just kind of like presented it that way. My whole motto was, I will talk like a movie trailer announcer in all my videos. So maybe that's what I did. I don't know. Sometimes for me, if I talk that way and I project that way, I'm more fluid in my videos and I don't ramble and talk over myself. Maybe that's why I did it. I don't know why I did it. I was just trying something different. I sort of turned into like a character of myself, I would say, for those 3 years. That's the best way I can describe it. The scene with Nick Nolte and Tom Hardy in Warrior. Is that what you want? Do you want me to reenact that scene? I can try, but it won't be very good. But here it goes. Are you ready? And scene. Nah. You weren't there. You weren't there when my mother was on her hands and knees in the house without heat. Nah, you were out somewhere getting drunk. So why don't you take your war stories down to the VFW, because maybe they'll give a damn. That's all I got. All right. Let's answer a few more questions here before I run out of steam. I'm about to collapse, guys. All right. I'll rapid fire some of these questions as I attempt to find them. Silvio, thank you for the donation, Silvio. Thank you for that. John Gomez. John, I remember you saying you want a Nightcrawler TV show. There is a show about the real-life Nightcrawlers called Shot in the Dark on Netflix. Check it out. Ooh, it's called Shot in the Dark. I'll add it to the list. Shot in the Dark. That sounds intriguing. I hope it's good. All right. What's the next one here? You ran about Bernard from the Santa Claus. Can you rant about Bernard from the Santa Claus? He's creepy. He scares me. I probably wouldn't take a magical orb that he handed me. He always creeped me out. Yeah, Bernard from the Santa Claus. Make a horror film. Make a horror film about Bernard from the Santa Claus. I'd watch that. Claudio. Or Claudio. I like to call you Claudio. John, what's your biggest guilty pleasure movie? Probably The Legend of Billie Jean from the 1980s. If you've never seen it, that's okay. You can live the rest of your life just fine without it. That and Waterworld have always been my biggest guilty pleasure movies. Most likely Waterworld, though. I just like movies with pure escapism. D-Truck52 Joe, what's your stream schedule? Yeah, the live streams are every Tuesday night. Typically, probably, most likely, around 7 to 9 o'clock. We'll start around that time. So always follow me on Twitter. Click that bell notification here on YouTube, and you will be alerted during the live streams. And yeah, so every Tuesday night. I've only missed 1 week in the last like 2.5 months. So, and don't miss one. Patrick John, I actually get pissed when people accuse you of roids. Like, do you know how unnatural someone on roids looks? Plus, roids are too expensive. Yes, they are. Yeah. By the way, when you take those, you don't get a deeper voice. You actually get more of a high-pitched voice. I know people, so yeah, people are crazy. They think if you go to the gym and work out, it's like, oh, it's steroids. It's just like, it's called working out for 5 years, constantly every day. Do it, and you'll see results. It's that easy. John Gomez. John, if you could bring back a kid's show, but with a more mature theme, what would it be? Example of Samurai Jack. Bring back a kid's show, but with a more mature theme? I don't know. Here's a weird thought. I always wanted to see a live-action Doug movie. Do 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 do. Do you guys remember the song in the animated show Doug? Banging on a trash can, drumming on a street light. If you remember that, let me know. John, are you scared of aliens? No, I'm really not. Tyler Van, I am an alien. The next one comes from Tyler Van. Thoughts on Frost Nixon? I watched Frost Nixon once. That won Best Picture of the Year, didn't it? Yeah, Frost. No, did it? Thinking of something else. Kevin Bacon, Rebecca, Toby, Kathy. Yeah, I don't remember Frost Nixon. Wow, I was thinking of something else. I don't remember anything about Frost Nixon. You know what? I was thinking of the movie Milk. That's what I was thinking of. When you said Frost Nixon, I was thinking of the Sean Penn movie Milk. Elliot, Con Air or The Rock, which is more entertaining? I think The Rock is the... Man, that's hard. I think for me, my personal favorite, I think The Rock feels more like a real movie. As crazy as that sounds. And Con Air is sort of like... They're both bombastic, crazy, over-the-top action movies, but Con Air is even more so, especially with a villain like Cyrus the Virus. But I think The Rock is my personal favorite because you have Sean Connery teaming up with Nicolas Cage. Like, that's just perfection. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. When did you meet Chris Stuckman? I don't know. I think he commented on one of my Blu-ray videos talking about Heartbreak Ridge and Broken Arrow. And then eventually he invited me to come hang out, and we went to see some shitty movie at a screening in 2012. It was, I think, the week after the first Avengers movie came out. And I remember because the night I went to go see the Avengers back in 2012, I came down with a flu. And if you go watch my Avengers movie review, if you look closely, like, I'm all sweaty. And that's because I was like coming down with the flu right after seeing the movie. And then I laid in bed for like 3 days after that. Russ Rogers, in all your years on the internet, what is the weirdest video you've seen? I don't want to go there. I don't know, man. I don't know. I I've seen some. Are you saying specifically on YouTube? Because that's a very broad question. Patrick, no one ever talks about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, such an underrated 80s movie, which I believe they're remaking Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, or they're making a sequel, right? Yeah, isn't that right? Isn't the original actor coming out of retirement to be part of it, or is that a TV show? Yeah, I love Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. When they're sleeping in the giant Lego, that's great. They ride around on an ant. It makes the backyard terrifying. And that's the reason you can't cut your grass. Before you cut your grass in your backyard, you have to take a magnifying glass and make sure there's not little shrunken kids back there, or else you're going to decapitate them with the lawnmower. What are we talking about? I don't know. But I like when they're floating around in Cheerios at the end of the movie. It's like so disgusting. Could you imagine? Like every time you eat Cheerios, you always have to look closely to make sure there's like not a little kid floating around in there, just dirtying up your Cheerios. Ugh. Tyler Van, when's the last time you went this long without going to the movie theater? Yeah, the last movie I saw at the movie theater was Onward. This is probably the longest stint I've ever had not going to the movie theater. But that's okay. It's sort of refreshing. And movie theaters, like we said previously, as I said earlier, they'll open again eventually. It's fine. Just I don't mind sort of taking a break from everything. It's sort of relaxing. It's like a reset button on society. I don't know. I hope we learn from this and we grow. But do you guys remember when Thanos had a plan to make us grateful for everything, but we couldn't get over our loss and we were stuck in mourning? Let's not talk about human genocide right now. Let's move on. Russ Rogers, garbage day. Yes. All right, guys, I'm going to take a few more questions, and then I'm going to pass out because how long has this live stream been going on for? 3 hours almost. This was a long live stream, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. All right, let's answer a few more Streamlabs questions here that were asked a few minutes ago. You know my name. Hey, Scarlett, where is your red wig? Yes, I know. I resemble Scarlett Johansson. And did I ruin her for you? I hope I did. I know. We have the same bone structure, but that's okay. I would have been a sexy chick. Fiddle Rays, John, you'd love the Death Note show. It's just one season, and the protagonist is a sociopath who is essentially a teenage Patrick Bateman if you had a notebook that could kill people by writing their name. I do have one of those. It's right here. So yeah, it sounds cool, man. I'll look into it. All right, guys, I'm going to answer just like one or two more questions, and then I'm going to go eat a chicken sandwich. Have you seen Showgirls? Yes, I have seen Showgirls with Jesse from Saved by the Bell. Patrick, I got told off at the gym for yelling Drago after my last rep. Who told you that? No, you should have punched him right in the face and done some pull-ups and then climbed to the top of a mountain. Yeah, there's nothing more therapeutic than screaming Drago. I'll tell you that right about now. And with that said, I want to go watch the Rocky IV montage. The Rocky IV montage is one thing in film that will inspire you to get up off your ass and do something. That's what I will say about that. Like every time I watch it, I'm like, I have to go do something. I have to go work out or something. Tyler Van, thoughts on the original Twilight Zone, the black and white Twilight Zone? Yeah, I mean, I remember watching that on like TV back in the 90s, and it always creeped me out. It always came on late at night. I always enjoyed it. All right, guys, I'm going to. I think it's time to go. Just making sure I didn't miss any of the questions here, because no man is left behind. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching the live stream. I'm going to end it here. You guys are awesome. This is fun. Definitely make sure you subscribe, click that bell notification so you don't miss the next live stream, and give the video a like because it does help that stupid YouTube algorithm. That way more people can see the video and YouTube doesn't suppress it. But yeah, as always, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for the donations, the Streamlabs, and just the questions or just watching. It really does help out. Look out for a gym tour video. And if you haven't already, make sure you watch the last Flick Trip video going to Walmart, picking up, I picked this up. So go watch that. As always, guys, leave your thoughts, your opinions down below. Yeah, have a good night. And thanks so much for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Okay. Bye-bye now. Oh, let's end it. We have to learn how to... There we go. There it is, right there.